practicing medicine while traveling through Douluo, but a goddess secretly eavesdrops on my inner thoughts. Welcome back, brave explorers of impossible worlds. We are excited to have you here to continue this odyssey together. Before we continue, everything you'll hear is pure fiction. So please don't try to replicate combat techniques at home. This wonderful story in all its rights belong to its brilliant original author. We are only the messengers of entertainment. Want another dose of adventure? Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single chapter. And if you can't wait, our Patreon has exclusive surprises you'll love. Chapter 176 Shy and Helpless Bosaixi. Bosaixi, who was uneasy and somewhat expectant, had just been carried into the bathroom by Long Xiaoyao. She was surprised to find that the bathroom was filled with very strong soul power, and this soul power was particularly suitable for her to use. To restore soul power. Moreover, Bosaixi discovered that the soul power in the bathroom was emanating from the bathtub. This is, when Bosaixi was carried to the bathtub by Long Xiaoyao, she found that the water in the bathtub was sky blue, with many blue petals floating on it, exuding a light fragrance and smelling particularly comfortable. And she discovered that the soul power in the bathroom was emanating from the water in the tub. This is a medicated bath that I specially prepared for you. As long as you absorb them all, it will not only quickly restore your body to its original state, but also restore a certain amount of soul power. Long Xiaoyao hugged Bosaixi and explained to Bosaixi with a smile. Thank you. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bosaixi sincerely thanked Long Xiaoyao. Bosaixi could feel that the medicinal bath prepared by Long Xiaoyao for her was very powerful. It could not only restore her body, but also restore more than half of her soul power. She knew that Long Xiaoyao must have used very precious herbs in preparing this potion bath. She was really grateful to Long Xiaoyao. Let me help you take off your clothes. This will allow your body to fully come into contact with the potions, speed up your absorption of these potions, and speed up your recovery. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said again. What? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bosaixi's eyes widened, feeling shocked and excited. Although she thought that Long Xiaoyao might want to help her take off her clothes, she didn't expect that Long Xiaoyao would say it so directly. Don't worry, from the moment I help you take off your clothes to before I put you in the bathtub, I will close my eyes and promise not to peek at your body, Long Xiaoyao said immediately. Then, without waiting for Bosaixi's answer, Long Xiaoyao put Bosaixi down first, and then he closed his eyes in front of Bosaixi. You'd better not move around later, otherwise if I accidentally touch something I shouldn't, I won't be responsible in the future, Long Xiaoyao said seriously, and then he directly unbuttoned Bosaixi's clothes according to what he had written down in advance, and began to help Bosaixi take off his clothes. Bosaixi was now unable to move, let alone resist Long Xiaoyao. She could only cooperate with Long Xiaoyao without moving, and let Long Xiaoyao help her take off her clothes. Okay, since Long Xiaoyao wanted to help Bosaixi take off his clothes and he also had underwear, his hands would inevitably touch Bosaixi's body. Bosaixi's body was very sensitive now, which made her body very itchy, but she didn't dare to scream out and closed her mouth tightly, causing her pretty face and ears to turn red. Soon, Long Xiaoyao had helped Bosaixi take off all his clothes, and then used a princess hug to carry Bosaixi into the bathtub, letting Bosaixi's entire body be soaked in the potion. During this period, I didn't take the opportunity to eat one of Bosaixi's tofu. You look so cute when you blush. Long Xiaoyao opened his eyes and saw Bosaixi's pretty face, which was as red as a ripe apple, showing the medicinal water, and joked with a smile. Get out of here. Gilu gilu. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, looking at Long Xiaoyao's pretty face, and remembering the scene that made her extremely nervous just now, Bosaixi was so shy that her pretty face below her eyes was buried in the water, while blowing bubbles. She said to Long Xiaoyao unable to speak clearly at all. Okay, you absorb the potion here first and recover, and I'll prepare some food, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile, then stood up and turned around. I have put the clothes here, you can just put them on later, Long Xiaoyao pointed to the clothes on the rack and reminded Bosaixi. Squeak. Then Long Xiaoyao walked out of the bathroom, closed the bathroom door, and went to prepare some food. Seeing that Long Xiaoyao had walked out, Bosaixi raised his head again. Why is he so skilled? Bosaixi looked at the door that had just been closed and couldn't understand why Long Xiaoyao was able to take off all the clothes on her body with such precision. Forget it, I'd better recover quickly. Then I'll see if he dares to continue teasing me. After thinking to no avail, Bo Seixi began to absorb the potion with all his strength to restore his body and soul. In order to catch Bo Seixi's stomach, Long Xiaoyao began to carefully prepare delicious meals. More than 3 hours have passed, and Long Xiaoyao has prepared a large table full of food. Wow! Long Xiaoyao was just about to call Bo Seixi, but he saw that Bo Seixi had already put on his clothes and came to the living room. His eyes lit up and he couldn't help but exclaimed. At this moment, Bo Seixi put on Long Xiaoyao's white brocade robe, which vividly displayed her proud and perfect figure, especially the robe that was stretched out high above her abdomen. Attractive. Although it is men's clothing, it doesn't feel out of place when Bo Seixi wears it. Instead, it fits perfectly. Coupled with Bo Seixi's beautiful face, sky blue hair, and her unique noble temperament, she now looks not only beautiful, but also particularly handsome and charming, and people can't help but be attracted to her, couldn't help but fall under her skirt. Oh no! It's under the robe? Bo Seixi, you are so beautiful, this outfit suits you perfectly. Long Xiaoyao looked into Bo Seixi's sky blue eyes and praised him without hesitation. Thank you for the compliment. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's praise, Bo Seixi felt extremely happy for some reason, but she suppressed her joy and spoke to Long Xiaoyao calmly. Now Bo Seixi's body has fully recovered, and most of her soul power has recovered. Now only her mental power has not been recovered, but she feels that she has been able to suppress Long Xiaoyao. So she turned into the cold high priest of Poseidon Island again, just to prevent herself from being teased by Long Xiaoyao. But what Bo Seixi didn't expect was that the slightly raised corners of her mouth and gleaming eyes had betrayed her. Yohi, hearing my compliment, you are obviously very happy, but you want to pretend to be cold to me. Long Xiaoyao noticed the slightly raised corners of Bo Seixi's mouth and his eyes that were already radiating light. He knew that Bo Seixi was definitely happy to receive his praise, and saw that Bo Seixi was deliberately pretending to be cold. I want to see if you can still be so calm after bringing back the food I cooked. Long Xiaoyao was very confident in his cooking skills. He believed that Bo Seixi would never be as calm as he was now. What delicious food have I not eaten? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, Bo Seixi wanted to laugh for the first time. Because Bo Seixi is the high priest of Poseidon Island and has been gifted since she was a child. She has eaten all kinds of delicious food. She feels that the food cooked by Long Xiaoyao will never make her unable to stay calm. Come and have some food, you must be hungry too, right? Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bo Seixi. It is good, Bo Seixi nodded. She was indeed a little hungry and wanted to know why Long Xiaoyao was so confident. Why does it smell so good? Slowly approaching the dining table, Bo Seixi smelled the aroma of the food prepared by Long Xiaoyao. It felt very fragrant and she couldn't help but quicken her pace. Gollum. Gulu gulu. When Bo Seixi came to the dining table and saw a large table of delicious food slowly being laid out on the dining table, she couldn't help but take a big gulp of saliva, and her stomach couldn't help but scream. End of this chapter. Chapter 177. Then you can pick up some food for me too. Me. Hearing her stomach growl uncontrollably, Bo Seixi suddenly felt very panicked and ashamed. 2 blushes appeared on her pretty face. She wanted to say something, but she didn't know what to say. Bo Seixi felt very ashamed. She had never had her stomach growl in front of others. If it were anyone else, Bo Seixi wouldn't even bother to explain. But facing Long Xiaoyao, Bo Seixi somehow wanted to explain something, but he didn't know how to explain it. It seems you are very hungry too, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bo Seixi. She didn't mean to laugh at Bo Seixi, she just felt very happy. Because he found that even Bo Seixi was no different from an ordinary girl, he felt very happy. Okay, seeing Long Xiaoyao's happy smile and hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Seixi saw that Long Xiaoyao didn't mean to laugh at her, and was very happy. She also felt very happy and nodded with a smile. Let's eat quickly, otherwise the food will be cold later, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile, then pulled out a stool and motioned to Bo Seixi to sit down with his eyes. Okay, Bo Seixi nodded, without rejecting or hesitating, and sat directly on the chair Long Xiaoyao pulled out, because she couldn't wait to eat the food cooked by Long Xiaoyao. After Bo Seixi sat on the chair, Long Xiaoyao first helped Bo Seixi move the chair a little further inside. Then Long Xiaoyao sat next to Bo Seixi and handed the bowl and chopsticks with rice in front of Bo Seixi. Come on, have a chicken leg. Long Xiaoyao picked up a big chicken drumstick for Bo Saxi, put it into Bo Saxi's bowl, and said to Bo Saxi with a smile. This was the first time that Bo Saxi had a man give her something to eat, and this man was Long Xiaoyao. Somehow, she felt particularly warm and happy inside. The corners of her mouth slightly raised, revealing a happy smile. If it had been any other man, Bo Saxi would never have allowed him to come close to her, not even within 3 feet of her, let alone pick something up for her to eat. Okay, Bo Saxi smiled and nodded, but at this moment he still wanted to maintain a dignified and elegant look, so she slowly picked up the chicken legs and brought them to her mouth. She opened her jade mouth and bit into it slightly. Take a bite. Okay, when Bo Saxi bit into the chicken leg, the meat juice immediately splashed into her mouth, stimulating her taste buds and making her eyes light up. Bo Saxi felt fragrant, spicy, and a little sour, very delicious, and fully felt the deliciousness of the chicken. This was a delicacy she had never tasted before, and she had never imagined that chicken could be so delicious. The delicious taste of the chicken legs made Bo Saxi unable to remain calm. She immediately bit down on the chicken and started chewing it. Immediately, the delicious taste of the chicken legs fully bloomed in Bo Saxi's mouth, making her couldn't help but nod her head, showing an extremely happy smile, as if she was about to ascend to heaven. Gollum, too delicious, Amen. After Bo Saxi swallowed the chicken leg in her mouth, she praised it sincerely. Then she could no longer maintain her dignified and elegant look, so she opened her mouth wide and bit into a large piece of chicken leg. Sure enough, Bo Saxi can't refuse the food I cooked, ha ha ha. Seeing Bo Saxi's appearance, Long Xiaoyao smiled proudly snort. If I wasn't hungry, how could I eat like this? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, Bo Saxi retorted in his heart. But Bo Saxi knew that even if she wasn't hungry now, she couldn't control herself from eating like this. As long as you like it, try this again. This one is also delicious, yet, it's delicious, and this, too delicious, you eat too. Don't just help me pick it up. When Bo Saxi saw that Long Xiaoyao had been helping her pick up vegetables, but Long Xiaoyao hadn't eaten a bite, she felt a little embarrassed and said to Long Xiaoyao. At the same time, Bo Saxi did not forget to put food into her mouth, and her mouth never stopped. Then you can help me pick up some food for me to eat, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bo Saxi. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Saxi was very surprised. Yuzu, who had never stopped, also stopped. She did not expect that Long Xiaoyao would actually ask her to help pick up the food. Don't you know how to pick up the food yourself? Why do you want me to pick up the food for you? Bo Saxi didn't say not to help Long Xiaoyao, but asked Long Xiaoyao, and her pretty face turned slightly red. Because Bo Saxi somehow wanted to agree to help Long Xiaoyao pick up vegetables. But Bo Saxi had never picked up food for a man before, and she was particularly embarrassed to help Long Xiaoyao pick up food. So Bo Saxi chose to ask Long Xiaoyao why he asked her to help pick up the vegetables. Because the food you serve is more delicious than the food I serve, Long Xiaoyao replied affirmatively. Why? Aren't they all vegetables? What's the difference? Bo Saxi asked in confusion. Of course there is a difference, Long Xiaoyao said firmly. Bo Saxi became even more puzzled and looked at Long Xiaoyao curiously. Because the food you picked for me also contains your feelings for me, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bo Saxi. Bo Saxi was very surprised when she heard Long Xiaoyao's words. This was the first time she heard such a statement. Even if it is an emotion that hates you. Do you want to eat it? Bo Saxi picked up a piece of chicken and put it into Long Xiaoyao's bowl. He stared at Long Xiaoyao and asked angrily, as if he didn't want to eat it. But Bo Saxi didn't know why, but in her heart she really hoped that Long Xiaoyao could eat the chicken she put in her hands. Amen, yet, it's delicious. Without saying a word, Long Xiaoyao directly picked up the chicken that Bo Saxi picked up for her and put it into her mouth. She tasted it with happiness on her face and nodded in praise. For some reason, Bo Saxi felt particularly happy when she saw Long Xiaoyao eating it without any hesitation and saying it was delicious. Gollum, I want you to help me pick up some food. After Long Xiaoyao swallowed it in one gulp, he smiled and said to Bo Saxi. You are so thick-skinned. Seeing Long Xiaoyao smile and hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Saxi couldn't help but curse, but her hands moved on their own, picked up another large piece of chicken, and put it into Long Xiaoyao's bowl. Of course I'm thick-skinned, Otherwise why would I have the nerve to ask you to pick up the vegetables for me? Really delicious, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile, and then directly picked up the chicken that Long Xiaoyao had picked up for him, then put it directly into his mouth and chewed it, while praising it. When Bo Seixi heard Long Xiaoyao's words, he couldn't be angry with Long Xiaoyao for some reason, and felt particularly happy inside. By the way, at times like this, you need a thing to cheer you up, Long Xiaoyao said suddenly. Then Long Xiaoyao, amidst the questions on Bo Seixi's face, ran to the refrigerator in the kitchen, took out 2 bottles of yellow liquid, returned to his seat, and placed them between him and Bo Seixi. What is this? Bo Seixi looked at the 2 bottles of yellow liquid that Long Xiaoyao brought and asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. Chapter 178 Then you also pick up some food for me. End of this chapter? Chapter 178 Drunk Bo Seixi. This is fruit wine, Long Xiaoyao answered directly and truthfully. Wine? Bo Seixi was a little curious. She had never heard of fruit wine, but she knew that fruit wine was also a kind of wine, otherwise it wouldn't be called fruit wine. You asked me to drink fruit wine because you wanted to get me drunk, Bo Seixi asked Long Xiaoyao with a smile. He looked at Long Xiaoyao with a smile as if he had seen through everything. What? Are you afraid that I will get you drunk? Long Xiaoyao unscrewed the caps of the 2 bottles of fruit wine and handed one of them directly to Bo Seixi. Then he deliberately showed a bit of a bad smile and asked Bo Seixi with a smile, if I wanted to get you drunk, I wouldn't let you have fruit wine, I would just let you drink Erguo Tao. The fruit wine that Long Xiaoyao brought was brewed by himself. It was not only delicious, but also promoted blood circulation. It was very suitable for Bo Seixi who had just recovered from a serious injury to drink, and it would help speed up the recovery of Bo Seixi's body. Moreover, the alcohol concentration of fruit wine is only, %. Long Xiaoyao believes that Bo Seixi will definitely know how to drink. Even if he does not know how to drink, Bo Seixi is a peerless Douluo level soul master. It is impossible to get drunk just because of drinking a bottle of fruit wine. That's right. HMPH. I'm afraid you won't succeed. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, Bo Seixi felt that the reason why Long Xiaoyao provoked her in this way was to laugh at her. She said directly with disdain, and then took the fruit wine into her hand without hesitation. Okay, so good. Immediately afterwards, Bo Seixi put the bottle between his jade lips without hesitation, raised the bottle slightly, took a small taste, his eyes suddenly lit up, and he couldn't help but praise. Bo Seixi had drunk a lot of wine, but this was her first time drinking something as delicious as fruit wine. She could feel that although the alcohol concentration of the fruit wine was very low, it was very sweet and delicious, making her want to drink it after taking a sip. Bo Seixi suddenly felt that the wine she drank before was incomparable to the fruit wine. Gollum. Immediately afterwards, Bo Seixi directly brought the fruit wine bottle over and started drinking it in large gulps, very boldly. Okay, he was very happy to see Bo Seixi taking a swig of fruit wine, and Long Xiaoyao showed a proud smile. Because now he not only grabbed Bo Seixi's stomach with food, but also caught Bo Seixi's stomach with fruit wine. You didn't even check it, and you didn't let me take a sip first. You drank it in big gulps. Aren't you afraid that I would put a poison in this fruit wine and then do something indescribable to you? Long Xiaoyao deliberately showed a meaningful smile and asked Bo Seixi with a smile. Stop pretending, okay? If you were that kind of person, you would have attacked me long ago when I was unable to move. Why would you need to heal my injuries first and let me fully recover? Bo Seixi directly exposed Long Xiaoyao. Ha. Long Xiaoyao smiled awkwardly, but he was also happy because he knew that Bo Seixi completely trusted him now. Do you still have this fruit wine? I still want to drink it. Bo Seixi shook the empty fruit wine bottle and asked Long Xiaoyao expectantly. There are still many more. I will have as much as you want, you drink this bottle first. And I'll get the other bottles later. Long Xiaoyao put the fruit wine bottle in his hand on the table, then stood up and planned to get a few more bottles of fruit wine. Okay, Bo Seixi nodded directly, immediately put down the fruit wine bottle in his hand, picked up Long Xiaoyao's fruit wine bottle, and then planned to drink it directly. Wait a moment, just when Bo Seixi put the mouth of the bottle in front of his jade mouth, Long Xiaoyao grabbed Bo Seixi's jade hand in time to stop Bo Seixi from continuing to drink. What happened? Bo Seixi asked Long Xiaoyao in confusion. Although this fruit wine is delicious and the alcohol concentration is very low, you can't just drink fruit wine all the time. This is not good for your health. You also need to eat some food, Long Xiaoyao said righteously, and at the same time he took the fruit wine bottle from Bo Seixi's hand and put it back on the table. Come on, let's eat some tofu first. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao scooped a spoonful of mapo tofu for Bo Seixi. Okay, hearing Long Xiaoyao's words and looking at the mapo tofu in the bowl, Bo Seixi felt very warm. He smiled happily and nodded with a smile. Then Bo Seixi picked up the bowl and chopsticks and started eating. Seeing Bo Seixi being so obedient, Long Xiaoyao smiled and went to get the fruit wine. Cheers, Zhang, Gollum. Gollum, what? Here, have some chicken. You ate a piece too. In the next half hour, Long Xiaoyao and Bo Seixi drank about 30 bottles of fruit wine together, of which Bo Seixi drank more than 20 bottles. During this period, Bo Seixi and Long Xiaoyao served each other food, and both of them finished all the food. But there was one thing that was beyond Long Xiaoyao's expectation. Bo Seixi was drunk. Huh? Why is it gone again? Bo Seixi shook the fruit wine bottle in her hand and stared at it with her already blurred eyes. She was a little surprised and a little angry when she found that she had drank it all again. At this moment, Bo Seixi's pretty face was already flushed. Even when she was sitting on the chair, she was swaying a little, and her eyes were half open, as if she was completely drunk. You, go get a few more bottles of fruit wine, I want to drink more. Bo Seixi pointed at Long Xiaoyao and said to Long Xiaoyao in a commanding tone while shaking his body. Although Bo Seixi has drunk alcohol, she is not very good at drinking. She doesn't drink much at all, and even if she does, she doesn't drink too much. And although the alcohol content of fruit wine is very low, Bo Seixi drank more than 20 bottles in a row, and the accumulated amount has reached a level that she cannot bear now. In addition, Bo Seixi never used her soul power to force out the alcohol, which resulted in her being drunk now. However, although Bo Seixi was drunk, her consciousness was still sober, but she was unable to think deeply. Now she just wanted to continue drinking fruit wine. Well, Long Xiaoyao smiled and nodded. He felt that drunk Bo Seixi was quite cute. Can I hold you and get a drink now? Long Xiaoyao knew that Bo Seixi was drunk now, so he directly picked up Bo Seixi in a princess hug, intending to let Bo Seixi go to the room to sleep and rest. Yet, I can still drink 10 more bottles. Bo Seixi lay in Long Xiaoyao's arms, made a sign of the cross with both hands, looked at Long Xiaoyao with a smile, and said confidently. Bo Seixi realized that Long Xiaoyao was hugging her with a princess hug, but it was not like she had never been hugged by Long Xiaoyao before, and she just wanted to drink fruit wine now, and she also liked her being hugged by Long Xiaoyao very much, so she didn't resist at all, but was very happy. Huh? Isn't this the way to the kitchen? Where are you taking me? Bo Seixi saw Long Xiaoyao holding her directly on the way to the kitchen, and she asked Long Xiaoyao angrily. This is the way to the kitchen, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. You're lying. The kitchen is obviously over there, okay? Bo Seixi pointed to the kitchen with his jade finger and looked at the kitchen, angrily asking Long Xiaoyao Dao, are you drunk or not? Looking at Bo Seixi's appearance, Long Xiaoyao felt that Bo Seixi was indeed drunk, but he found that Bo Seixi was very conscious and he couldn't tell whether Bo Seixi was really drunk. I'm not drunk, I can drink 10 more bottles. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, Bo Seixi turned to Long Xiaoyao and answered without even thinking about it, his eyes full of affirmation. End of this chapter. Chapter 179 Conquer Bo Seixi? Long Xiaoyao was shocked when he heard Bo Seixi directly answer the question he was thinking about. Could it be that Bo Seixi can hear what's in my heart? Long Xiaoyao guessed in his heart, while staring at Bo Seixi closely, wanting to see Bo Seixi's reaction. Oops. Bo Seixi looked at Long Xiaoyao's shocked look, and when she heard Long Xiaoyao's inner words, she suddenly felt a little panicked. Only now did she know that Long Xiaoyao had just asked her in his mind whether she was drunk, instead of asking her directly. I want to drink fruit wine, please take me to drink it quickly, hurry up and take me to drink. Bo Seixi immediately hugged Long Xiaoyao's neck, shook Long Xiaoyao vigorously, made a cooing sound, and said to Long Xiaoyao like a rogue. Bo Seixi didn't want to tell Long Xiaoyao that she could hear his thoughts. First of all, she didn't know why she could hear Long Xiaoyao's thoughts. Secondly, Bo Sexy wanted to understand what Long Xiaoyao wanted to do by eavesdropping on Long Xiaoyao's thoughts in the future. Looking at Bo Sexy's appearance, it's unlikely that she can hear what I'm saying. Seeing Bo Sexy acting like a drunken maniac, Long Xiaoyao felt that he might be overthinking. Moreover, Long Xiaoyao discovered that Bo Sexy had neither mobilized his soul power nor his mental power. He really couldn't figure out how Bo Sexy could listen to his inner thoughts. If it were true, it would be too fantasy and illogical. But what Long Xiaoyao didn't expect was that Bo Sexy could indeed hear his heart. Perhaps Bo Sexy found out and wanted to carry her to the room to let her rest. That's why he just emphasized that she was not drunk and could still drink 10 more bottles. Now she's still drunk with me here. Long Xiaoyao guessed in his heart that he felt this was much more likely. After all, Bo Sexy was really drunk now. Stupid. Ha ha ha. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's heartfelt voice, Bo Sexy's heart was filled with joy. No, you are drunk now and need to rest. You can't drink any more, Long Xiaoyao advised Bo Sexy, and then walked to the room still holding Bo Sexy. I'm not drunk, Bo Sexy puffed up his cheeks slightly in anger. I can still drink 10 more bottles, Bo Sexy said with great certainty. Put me down quickly, I want to get some fruit wine myself. As Bo Sexy spoke, he began to struggle and shake desperately, trying to get off Long Xiaoyao's arms. Don't move, Long Xiaoyao said sternly, and at the same time he hugged Bo Sexy tightly, pressing Bo Sexy tightly against his chest to prevent Bo Sexy from falling to the ground due to his movements. You yelled at me, you actually yelled at me. Bo Sexy looked at Long Xiaoyao in surprise, tears flashing in her eyes. She did not expect that Long Xiaoyao would suddenly yell at her. Although she knew that Long Xiaoyao was doing it for her own good, she still felt particularly wronged. Where did I yell at you? Long Xiaoyao was speechless. He was clearly reminding Bo Sexy, and it was for Bo Sexy's good, but he spoke in a stronger tone. Bo Sexy actually said that he yelled at her, and he felt particularly wronged. Do you think I'm being unreasonable? Are you impatient with me? You said you wanted to conquer me before. Now you are impatient with me. Seeing Long Xiaoyao's speechless look, Bo Sexy felt that Long Xiaoyao was impatient with her. She felt very sad, her voice was choked uncontrollably, and her eyes filled with tears. It seems that Bo Sexy has fallen in love with me. After hearing Bo Sexy's words and seeing Bo Sexy's sad look, Long Xiaoyao guessed that Bo Sexy must have fallen in love with him, otherwise he wouldn't have become like this because of him. Long Xiaoyao knew that it was useless to say anything at this time. He directly kissed Bo Sexy's jade lips without giving Bo Sexy any chance to react. Bo Sexy had just listened to Long Xiaoyao's heartfelt voice. She didn't expect that Long Xiaoyao would actually say that she had fallen in love with him, and she didn't expect that Long Xiaoyao would suddenly kiss her without saying a word, causing her to burst into tears that made her blood boil. The sound of this was Bo Sexy's first kiss. Her pretty face turned redder and she felt very nervous. Bo Sexy pressed her jade hands against Long Xiaoyao's neck and chest, trying hard to push Long Xiaoyao away. But Bo Sexy, who didn't use her soul power and mental power, couldn't push Long Xiaoyao away at all, and could only let Long Xiaoyao kiss her jade lips. Bo Sexy wanted to use her soul power and mental power, so that she could definitely push Long Xiaoyao away. But Bo Sexy herself didn't know why, but her heart didn't want her to use her soul power and mental power to push Long Xiaoyao away. What shocked Bo Sexy even more was that she felt particularly happy when she was kissed by Long Xiaoyao, which made her give up her resistance. It even gave her the urge to kiss Long Xiaoyao, and she had already hugged Long Xiaoyao's neck with her hands and was enjoying being kissed by Long Xiaoyao. Bo Sexy has indeed fallen in love with me. Feeling that Bo Sexy no longer resisted and was still enjoying being kissed by him, Long Xiaoyao knew that his feelings were correct. Have I really fallen in love with Long Xiaoyao? After hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts and being kissed by Long Xiaoyao, Bo Sexy found that she had fallen in love with Long Xiaoyao without knowing it. After kissing for a while, Long Xiaoyao let go of Bo Sexy's jade lips. Bo Sexy immediately rested his head on Long Xiaoyao's shoulder. His pretty face was red, and he didn't dare to look directly into Long Xiaoyao's eyes. He felt very nervous, but he also felt very happy, and showed a happy smile. Although the alcohol content of fruit wine is very small, you have already drunk too much? Regardless of whether you are drunk or not, if you continue to drink, it will be bad for your health, and I will feel bad for you, so stop drinking and go rest, okay? Long Xiaoyao gently advised Bo Sexy. He knew that Bo Saxi had calmed down now and could listen to his words. Bo Saxi nodded slightly and hummed slightly. The smile on his face couldn't stop. Long Xiaoyao hugged Bo Saxi and continued to walk into the room. Will he attack me later? Being held in Long Xiaoyao's arms and looking at the room getting closer and closer, Bo Saxi somehow began to imagine that Long Xiaoyao would do some indescribable things to her later, and she was special about it. After entering the room, Long Xiaoyao put Bo Saxi on the bed and covered him with a quilt. You have a good rest, I'm going out first. After giving instructions to Bo Saxi, Long Xiaoyao planned to walk out of the room. Before Long Xiaoyao turned around, he felt that Bo Saxi had grabbed his hand tightly and pulled him directly onto the bed, which surprised him. You haven't completely conquered me yet, do you want to just leave like this? Bo Saxi showed a wolf-like smile and asked Long Xiaoyao with a smile. Okay, then Bo Saxi didn't wait for Long Xiaoyao's reaction and directly kissed Long Xiaoyao's body, causing Long Xiaoyao to say him all of a sudden. Although Bo Saxi is very arrogant, he will not take the initiative to express many things. But Bo Saxi already understood that she fell in love with Long Xiaoyao, and she knew that Long Xiaoyao also liked her. Thinking of everything Long Xiaoyao had done for her, and how drunk she was, she could no longer be arrogant. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saxi's bodies lit up with sacred and noble white light. Come on, I'm afraid you won't make it. Yeah. Soon after, Bo Saxi's blood-eating voice echoed in the room. End of this chapter. Chapter 180. Tell the truth to Bo Saxi. How did you know? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Saxi was extremely shocked and moved. However, she was also extremely curious and stared at Long Xiaoyao and asked. Because it was only after Bo Saxi became the high priest of Poseidon Island that she knew that in the future she would be sacrificed to obtain the 9th examination of Poseidon to help that person inherit the throne of Poseidon, and she herself would definitely die because of this. At that time, Bo Saxi was already the high priest of Poseidon Island and could no longer change this fate. He could not even leave Poseidon Island at will. Bo Saxi is a smart person. She realized at that time that she was just a pawn of Poseidon. However, Poseidon was too powerful, and Bo Saxi was unable to resist. Moreover, Bo Saxi was able to achieve her current achievements only because of the help from Poseidon. And as time went by, there was nothing in this world worth her nostalgia, so she silently accepted this fate. But just now when Bo Saxi invited Long Xiaoyao and asked Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and other girls to follow her back to Poseidon Island, she remembered this matter again. But now Bo Saxi has fallen in love with Long Xiaoyao and accepts the fate given to her by the Poseidon. She doesn't want to be separated from Long Xiaoyao. But what Bo Saxi didn't expect was that she had never mentioned this matter to anyone, but Long Xiaoyao knew it so clearly. She was particularly curious about how Long Xiaoyao knew about it. Because there is nothing in the entire Douluo continent, including the Douluo God realm, that I don't know about, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile, his words full of confidence. When Long Xiaoyao heard Bo Saxi's words, he was even more sure of his guess. He also saw that Bo Saxi actually didn't want to become Poseidon's pawn, so he no longer had to be an enemy of Bo Saxi. He was very happy. What? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's answer and seeing Long Xiaoyao's extremely confident look, Bo Saxi was extremely shocked. She knew that Long Xiaoyao didn't lie, because she didn't hear Long Xiaoyao's voice at this time, which meant that Long Xiaoyao didn't lie. Who the hell are you? Bo Saxi curiously asked Long Xiaoyao. That she had long felt that Long Xiaoyao was not an ordinary person, and now she was even more sure that Long Xiaoyao was not an ordinary person. Otherwise, it would be impossible for Long Xiaoyao to be so powerful at such a young age, and claim to know everything about Douluo continent and Douluo God realm. I am the sacred beast you came to find on the orders of the Poseidon, the furry calf, which has more power than the dragon god's bloodline, Long Xiaoyao said to Bo Saxi truthfully. Because Long Xiaoyao had completely conquered Bo Saxi last night, and he found that Bo Saxi was not willing to become Poseidon's pawn. Therefore, Long Xiaoyao believed that even if he told Bo Saxi his identity, Bo Saxi would not only not arrest him, but also would not tell Poseidon the news of his discovery. What? Bo Saxi was even more surprised. She never expected that Long Xiaoyao was the one she had been looking for, the magical beast with bloodline power even more powerful than the dragon god. But just as Long Xiaoyao thought, Bo Saxi has been conquered by Long Xiaoyao. Now Bo Seixi has no intention of catching Long Xiaoyao, let alone telling the Poseidon the news of finding Long Xiaoyao. What Bo Seixi wanted most now was to understand Long Xiaoyao, so she immediately used her mental power to check on Long Xiaoyao. But you are obviously a human. I can't see the aura of a soul beast on your body, Bo Seixi asked Long Xiaoyao in confusion. She checked carefully for a while, but she couldn't find any breath of the spirit beast on Long Xiaoyao's body. That's because I am both a divine beast and a human soul master. As long as I don't activate the Maodo bloodline in my body, even if I use my soul power and activate my martial spirit, you won't be able to tell that I am the mythical beast Maodo, Long Xiaoyao still said truthfully. What? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Seixi was extremely shocked. She never thought that Long Xiaoyao was both a human and a beast, and she had never thought that someone could be both a human and a beast. But now Tang Chen should be looking for you in the forest. At the same time, like you, he should have received the order from God Shura and came out to look for me, so I'd better not activate the Maodo bloodline to show you, otherwise I will attract Tang Chen here. I will demonstrate it to you when I have the opportunity in the future, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. Okay, Bo Seixi nodded. Although she didn't know that Tang Chen was ordered by God Shura to look for Long Xiaoyao, she chose to believe Long Xiaoyao's words, and she didn't want Long Xiaoyao to be discovered by Tang Chen. Then you clearly know that I am looking for you and know that I am your enemy. Why do you still get close to me? Why are you helping me? Bo Seixi asked Long Xiaoyao in confusion. She thought about it in his shoes. If she were Long Xiaoyao, she would never approach her or help her. My silly boy, how could you ask such a stupid question? Long Xiaoyao asked Bo Seixi with a smile. Bo Seixi was a little angry when she heard Long Xiaoyao scolding her for being stupid. Just when she was about to say something, Long Xiaoyao pulled her into his arms and hugged her tightly, interlocking with Bo Seixi's beautiful hands. Of course I'm attracted to you. I can't bear to let you be harmed by Jin Daoliu and Tang Chen, and I can't bear to let you become Poseidon's pawn and a sacrifice for the heir to Poseidon's throne in the future. Long Xiaoyao hugged Bo Seixi tightly and said with a smile, but it could be heard that he was extremely serious. Being hugged tightly by Long Xiaoyao and hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Seixi felt very happy and showed a happy smile. Then when you first met me, you didn't dare to tell me that you were the divine beast I wanted. You waited until you conquered me before telling me. Were you afraid that I would catch you and tell Poseidon your news? Bo Seixi held Long Xiaoyao's big hand tightly and asked Long Xiaoyao with a smile. Bo Seixi knew that Poseidon was going to deal with Long Xiaoyao, so she no longer called Poseidon sir in front of Long Xiaoyao. Yes, but not entirely. The main reason is that you never asked me if I was the mythical beast you were looking for, Long Xiaoyao answered truthfully. It seems like this. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Seixi thought about it carefully and found that she had indeed not asked Long Xiaoyao if he was the divine beast she was looking for, and smiled awkwardly. After Bo Seixi saw Long Xiaoyao's true face, she thought that Long Xiaoyao was a human being, and never thought that Long Xiaoyao would be the divine beast she was looking for. Then now that you have told me, aren't you afraid that I will arrest you and tell Poseidon your news? Bo Seixi deliberately showed a slightly evil smile and asked Long Xiaoyao with a smile. Bo Seixi planned to tease Long Xiaoyao, because she had been teased by Long Xiaoyao so many times before. She finally found an opportunity, so of course she had to fight back. Don't be afraid, because I have been caught by you. The moment I last saw you, my heart was deeply captured by you, but I believe you will not tell Poseidon my news, because I have captured your body and mind. Don't worry, I will definitely destroy the sea god's throne and help you become a god. I will not let you become a sacrifice, Long Xiaoyao said to Bo Seixi affirmatively, while also hugging Bo Seixi tightly. End of this chapter. Chapter 181 Another Way to Become a God. You can really talk. When Bo Seixi heard Long Xiaoyao's words, she felt that Long Xiaoyao hugged her harder. She felt very happy and showed a happy smile. You used such sweet words to deceive Ah Yin and the others, right? Bo Seixi asked Long Xiaoyao with a smile. Although Bo Seixi has never met Ah Yin and the others, and has not heard Long Xiaoyao mention Ah Yin and the others, Bo Seixi just saw from the reward order of Wuhun Palace that it was Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin who seriously injured Jin Zunji and captured Bibi Dong. But based on Bo Seixi's current understanding of Long Xiaoyao, she knew that the truth of the matter was definitely not the same as what was stated in the Wuhun Palace reward order. There must be something else hidden. She believed that Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin were definitely trying to save Bibi Dong. Bo Sexy felt that even she couldn't resist Long Xiaoyao's charm, and she willingly became Long Xiaoyao's woman. She felt that Ah Yin and Bibi Dong would definitely not be able to resist Long Xiaoyao's charm. They should also be Long Xiaoyao by now woman. Moreover, Bo Sexy secretly followed Long Xiaoyao not long ago and saw BG, ZG and Erao. She could tell that they were also Long Xiaoyao's women. Moreover, Bo Sexy's sixth sense told her that Long Xiaoyao's women were most likely not just her and Ah Yin, but Bibi Dong, BG, ZG, and Ro, and there were probably more. Bo Sexy didn't particularly mind this, because she knew that in Douluo continent, it was common for men to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. The fact that Long Xiaoyao was able to conquer so many women meant that Long Xiaoyao was capable. It also showed that Bo Sexy made the right choice. It was not even late for her to be happy. She only needed a place for her in Long Xiaoyao's heart. But it would be impossible to say that Bo Sexy didn't mind this at all. Because Bo Sexy has been gifted since childhood, far surpassing all her peers, she feels that only someone who is more talented than her and more powerful than her can become her man. And her man can only have one woman, her. But now Long Xiaoyao has more than just Bo Sexy, so Bo Sexy deliberately asked Long Xiaoyao this way, wanting to tease Long Xiaoyao. Of course not. I conquered Ah Yin, the others and you through my sincerity and charm, as well as my actual actions, especially actions like last night. Long Xiaoyao smiled and slowly answered Bo Sexy word by word. You are so thick-skinned. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's answer, Bo Sexy couldn't help but scold Long Xiaoyao. But Bo Sexy's gentle tone and the happy smile on her face showed that she was not angry at all, but rather shy and happy. If I don't have a thick skin, how can I have the nerve to conquer you? Don't worry, I never take my word for it. I promise to destroy the throne of Poseidon and won't let you become a sacrifice to Poseidon's heir. I will also help you, as well as Yuena and the others who broke through level, and became gods. Long Xiaoyao interlocked with Bo Sexy's jade hands, held up Bo Sexy's jade hand, and said confidently and firmly, I believe that you will be more powerful than Poseidon in the future and will destroy Poseidon's throne so that I don't have to be a sacrifice to Poseidon's successor. Bo Sexy also said with certainty that she saw too many impossibilities in Long Xiaoyao. She believed that Long Xiaoyao's future achievements would definitely be above those of Poseidon. But becoming a god is not that simple. It requires not only excellent talent, but also unremitting efforts and excellent opportunities. In Douluo continent, if you want to break through level, and become a god, there are only 2 ways. The first way is to believe in the gods and inherit the gods. For example, on Poseidon Island where I am located, only by passing the 9th Poseidon exam and completing the 9th Poseidon exam within the specified time can one be able to inherit the Poseidon, break through level, and become Poseidon. But in all these years, there has never been anyone who has been able to pass the 9th Poseidon exam. Even I only got the top 8 exams. The second way is to become a believer and create gods. This requires that the soul master must first reach level 99, and then do many major things and become people's belief. When enough people believe in it, they can use the power of belief to create gods and break through level, to become gods. But it's already difficult for a soul master to reach level 99, let alone become people's belief. For so many years in Douluo continent, the only person who can become a believer and create a god is Poseidon. To be honest, if I had not accepted the top 8 exams, I would not have achieved what I have achieved now, Bo Sexy said helplessly. No, you are wrong. It is precisely because you accepted the top 8 exams that you can only achieve what you have now. Otherwise, according to your talent, you might have already cultivated to become a god on your own. As soon as Bo Sexy finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao said very firmly, Are you serious? When Bo Sexy heard Long Xiaoyao's words, especially when she heard Long Xiaoyao say that she had become a god long ago if she had not accepted the top 8 exams, she was extremely shocked. She sat up directly from Long Xiaoyao's arms and faced looking at Long Xiaoyao's eyes. He asked Long Xiaoyao in great shock. Bo Sexy knew that Long Xiaoyao was not someone who spoke freely, but she had been stuck at level 99 for a long time and still could not break through to level. Of course, Long Xiaoyao nodded with great certainty. His insightful eyes could see through all things and see through the essence of all things. He could see that Bo Sexy's talent was extremely good, even surpassing Bibi Dong's. He firmly believed that Bo Seixi definitely had the talent to become a god, but he was training in the wrong direction. And there are more than just these two ways to become a god. There is also a way to break through the level and become a god. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said very firmly. Is there another way? When Long Xiaoyao said that there was another way to break through level, and become a god, Bo Seixi was extremely shocked, because she had only heard of the two ways to become a god that she just mentioned. Okay, Long Xiaoyao nodded affirmatively. God level is just a realm. If a soul master wants to reach that level, he needs to understand and master one or several laws of heaven and earth after reaching level 99, and be able to use these laws of heaven and earth to strengthen himself, and then he can break through level, and become a god. Long Xiaoyao said firmly. The laws of heaven and earth. This was the first time Bo Seixi heard this word, and when she heard Long Xiaoyao's words, she was extremely shocked and confused. She looked at Long Xiaoyao in confusion. Everything in the world has its laws. For example, fire has the laws of fire, water has the laws of water, swords have the laws of swords, etc. If you master the law of fire and break through the 100th level and become a god, you can be called a fire god. If you master the law of water and break through the 100th level and become a god, you can be called a water god. If you master the law of the sword and break through the 100th level and become a god, you can be called a god. For the god of swords, Long Xiaoyao gave an example. Oh, Bo Seixi nodded as if she understood. She seemed to understand, but she didn't because this was the first time she had heard such a statement. And your martial spirit is the god of the sea, the ruler of the sea, and the entire sea will obey your orders, as long as you can understand and master the laws of the sea, and use the laws of the sea to strengthen yourself, and you can break through the 100th level and become a god. You can be called a sea god. Long Xiaoyao said to Bo Seixi with certainty. Law of the sea. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Seixi was shocked, but also particularly interested and excited. End of this chapter. Chapter 182 The Laws of Heaven and Earth understood by Long Xiaoyao. Then how can I understand the law of the sea? How can I master the law of the sea? Bo Seixi asked Long Xiaoyao very excitedly, because if what Long Xiaoyao said was true and she could understand and master the law of the sea, she could break through level, and become a god. As long as Bo Seixi can break through level, and become a god, she can resist Poseidon alone, and she won't have to be a sacrifice for Poseidon's heir. She can always accompany Long Xiaoyao. Of course she is very excited. As for the laws of the sea, you should have understood a lot by now and be able to master some of them. Although Long Xiaoyao said it should be, he was very sure. I have understood and mastered some laws of the sea. When did I realize and master it? How come I don't know? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Seixi had a question mark on her face and was extremely shocked. She didn't even know that she had already understood and mastered the law of the sea, but Long Xiaoyao actually said that she had already understood and mastered the law of the sea. Now, can you feel the vast power of the ocean as long as you are in a place with an ocean, and can you also borrow the power of the ocean to enhance your combat effectiveness, if it were in the ocean? Even if you were to fight against two peerless Douluo Jin Daoliu and Tang Chen at the same time, or add another peerless Douluo, would you still be able to handle it with ease? Long Xiaoyao asked Bo Seixi. Okay, Bo Seixi nodded affirmatively, because as Long Xiaoyao said, she could indeed feel the power contained in the ocean, and she could indeed borrow the power of the ocean. If the battle was on the ocean, even if he faced the attacks of 5 peerless Douluo, Bo Seixi would be able to deal with it with confidence. That's right, you have already understood the laws of the sea and can master some of the laws of the sea, Long Xiaoyao said with certainty. The laws of heaven and earth are invisible and unconscious, but they exist in all things in heaven and earth, and the law of the sea exists in the ocean. The power of the ocean you feel is the power of the law of the sea contained in the ocean, and the reason why you can't break through level, and become a god now is because you can't fully grasp the power of the ocean now, that is, you can't master the law of the ocean now. Once you can fully grasp the power of the ocean and master the laws of the ocean, you can break through level, and become a god. At that time, the entire ocean will be at your disposal. Even if you face hundreds of peerless Douluo, to you, they are just lambs to be slaughtered. You can destroy them with just a few moves. Even if you are fighting in a place where there is no ocean, you can rely on the laws of the sea you master to gather the surrounding water to form an artificial ocean, which will greatly enhance your combat effectiveness, Long Xiaoyao explained to Bo Seixi, his words full of affirmation. The reason why Long Xiaoyao is so sure is because when he received the voluntary sacrifices of 10-year-old divine beasts and ferocious beasts, he also understood many laws of heaven and earth and was able to use some of them. For example, when Qilin took the initiative to sacrifice, Long Xiaoyao understood the laws of thunder and lightning, and he can now use part of the laws of thunder and lightning to enhance his strength. I see. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's explanation, Bo Sexy suddenly realized that what she had to do next was to master the immense power contained in the flame. The laws of heaven and earth are extremely difficult to understand and even harder to master. Many people live their entire lives without even being able to feel the laws of heaven and earth, but I believe you will be able to master the law of the sea soon, but you can't be too hasty, because the laws of heaven and earth belong to the power of heaven and earth. If you can't master it now, but insist on mastering it, you are likely to be backlashed by the power of heaven and earth, causing irreversible damage. Long Xiaoyao told Bo Sexy that he was worried that Bo Sexy would be eager for quick success and cause irreversible damage. Well, I see, Bo Sexy nodded. She knew that the more powerful the power, the greater the danger she would face when mastering it. She would not act too hastily. Xiaoyao, how do you know so clearly? Bo Sexy asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. She had never even heard of this, but Long Xiaoyao knew it so clearly. She was very curious about it. Because I have now understood some laws of heaven and earth, such as the laws of thunder and lightning, but I can't master these laws of heaven and earth now because they are too strong, Long Xiaoyao said truthfully. What? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Sexy was so shocked that his lips widened and he stared at Long Xiaoyao blankly. Bo Sexy knew that Long Xiaoyao would not talk nonsense, which meant that Long Xiaoyao had really understood many kinds of laws of heaven and earth, and they were very strong laws of heaven and earth. You must know that even Bo Sexy only began to feel the vast power contained in the ocean after reaching level 91, titled Douluo. Only after Bo Sexy reached level 95 could he use the vast power contained in the ocean. But Long Xiaoyao is only at level 90 now, and he has already understood many kinds of laws of heaven and earth. You do not believe? Seeing Bo Sexy so shocked, Long Xiaoyao smiled and asked Bo Sexy. I believe you, but I didn't expect that you have understood several laws of heaven and earth now. Some of them are too surprising to me, Bo Sexy quickly explained. What laws of heaven and earth have you understood? Immediately afterwards, Bo Sexy asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. The law of thunder, the law of fire, the law of water, the law of wood, the law of wind, the law of devouring, the law of chaos, the law of darkness, and the law of destruction, Long Xiaoyao said truthfully. The first 8 were the laws of heaven and earth that Long Xiaoyao only understood after absorbing 10-year-old divine beasts and ferocious beasts. The last one is the law of heaven and earth that Long Xiaoyao realized after awakening the martial soul of the destruction god-slaying sword. This is also the reason why the destruction sword technique he used to use the destruction god-slaying sword is so powerful. This was also the reason why when he attacked Xiaoyao with the destruction god-killing spear, he severely injured Xiaoyao and made it impossible for Xiaoyao to heal the wounds caused by the destruction god-killing spear on his own. So much, hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Sexy was shocked and widened again. She did not expect that Long Xiaoyao had already comprehended 9 laws of heaven and earth, and they all sounded very strong. Of course it is, how else would I be worthy of being your man? Long Xiaoyao showed a proud smile and said to Bo Sexy with a smile. You are so thick-skinned, but I like it, Bo Sexy said with a smile while leaning into Long Xiaoyao's arms. So how many women do you have now? Will they accept me? Bo Sexy asked Long Xiaoyao worriedly. She had been completely conquered by Long Xiaoyao, and she didn't want to cause trouble to Long Xiaoyao. When I have time in the future, I will take you to see them. You will know then, don't worry, you are so beautiful and capable, they will definitely accept you, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. The reason why he didn't say anything was to tease Bo Sexy. You are so bad, Bo Sexy cursed with a smile, and at the same time pressed his pretty face tightly against Long Xiaoyao's chest. Ha ha ha, Long Xiaoyao didn't say anything, he just smiled and hugged Bo Sexy tightly. End of this chapter. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 183 Hostage. Xiaoyao, you said you were out to do something. What are you going to do? Leaning in Long Xiaoyao's arms, Bo Saixi asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. Bo Saixi remembered that Long Xiaoyao said yesterday that he happened to meet her on his way here when he was out doing business. She was very curious about what Long Xiaoyao was going to do. I'm going. Long Xiaoyao then told him that he was going to the Star Dao Forest to find Dishan and the others and asked them to go with him to snatch the bride. He also told him everything about his relationship with Yaosiki and what happened to Yaosiki. Saixi. I see, Bo Saixi nodded. At first, when she heard Long Xiaoyao said that he was going to grab Yaosiki, she felt a little uncomfortable inside. But when Bo Saixi heard Long Xiaoyao tell what happened to Yaosiki, she suddenly became enlightened. Then you've wasted a day and a night just for me. Is it too late? Bo Saixi asked Long Xiaoyao worriedly. She was worried that due to the time, Long Xiaoyao would not be able to rescue Yaosiki in time. It's coming in time, just don't worry, Long Xiaoyao comforted Bo Saixi, his words full of confidence. Okay, Bo Saixi nodded. She believed in Long Xiaoyao and felt relieved. But you have already been delayed for a day and a night, shall we set off immediately? Bo Saixi immediately suggested Long Xiaoyao and stood up at the same time. But I'm going to find Ah Yin and the Sea Witch first. I'm very worried about them. After I find them, I will go to you immediately. Immediately afterwards, Bo Saixi said that she was very worried about the current situation of Ah Yin and the Sea Witch. Because Bo Saixi knew Ah Yin and the Sea Witch, she was very worried that they might not listen to her and return to Poseidon Island, but instead wait for her on the outskirts of the forest. Bo Saixi was worried that Ah Yin and the Sea Witch would meet Tang Chen, and that Tang Chen would be detrimental to them. Long Xiaoyao nodded and stood up. But we have to work together to deal with Tang Chen first. Otherwise, if you encounter Tang Chen again, he will still attack you. Now, if you weren't fighting Tang Chen on the ocean, you wouldn't be Tang Chen's opponent, Long Xiaoyao continued. Bo Saixi nodded. Let's go out first and see if Tang Chen is still looking for you in this forest. If he is, you can attract his attention later. It's best to compete with him for advanced soul skills so that I can come here. Attack him from a blind spot. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao showed a slightly evil smile and said the method he thought of. Okay, hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Saixi remembered that the last time Long Xiaoyao took advantage of her and Jin Daoliu to fight for advanced soul skills, he attacked and seriously injured Jin Daoliu. She also showed a bit of a bad smile and nodded. Then Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saixi cleaned up for a while and walked out of the small house. After Long Xiaoyao put away the small house, he took Bo Saixi out of the underground cave together. Bo Saixi, I know you are hiding somewhere in this forest. I have caught the two women who are following you, and I advise you to come out quickly, or I will kill them immediately. As soon as Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saixi walked out of the underground cave, they heard a deep and sharp sound coming from not far away. Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saixi both recognized that this voice belonged to Tang Chen. Not good. Ah Yin and Sea Witch were caught by Tang Chen. Hearing Tang Chen's words, Bo Saixi immediately panicked. She was very worried about the safety of Ah Yin and the Sea Witch, so she immediately took action to save Ah Yin and the Sea Witch. Wait a minute, don't panic, we are still not sure whether Ah Yin and Sea Witch were really caught by Tang Chen. It is very likely that Tang Chen said this deliberately in order to lure you out. Long Xiaoyao grabbed Bo Saixi's jade hand tightly, stopped Bo Saixi and said. But, what? Just as Bo Saixi was about to say something, she was picked up by Long Xiaoyao in a princess hug and was shocked. I can completely hide the auras of both of us. Let's take a look at the situation first, and then see what to do, Plop. Long Xiaoyao said concisely, and then without waiting for Bo Saixi's reply, he directly used illusion, summoned the wings of the Suzaku, and flew from the forest, using the cover of trees, towards the direction where Tang Chen's voice came from. Bo Saixi, you have to show up to me immediately within 3 minutes, otherwise I will kill the two women with you. In the air, Tang Chen strangled Huoya's neck with one hand and the Sea Witch's neck with the other. He used his soul power to amplify his voice many times and shouted loudly towards the forest below. It can be seen that both Ah Yin and Sea Witch are seriously injured at this moment. They are covered in blood and their clothes are in tatters. They look very pitiful. Master High Priest, you must, please don't come out and leave us alone, the Sea Witch shouted loud as she could. The High Priest, Xiaoyao also wanted to persuade Bo Sixi not to come out, but even though she had tried her best, she could not scream. Because her body is so different from that of the sea witch, she can no longer speak. Although the sea witch and Xiaoyao escaped yesterday, they had always been on the outskirts of the forest, waiting for Bo Sixi to get rid of Tang Chen and escape with him. But until this morning, they still hadn't seen Bo Sixi escape. They were very worried about Bo Sixi's safety, so they entered the forest to look for Bo Sixi regardless of the danger. But when they met Tang Chen just now, they realized that Bo Sixi had been hiding in the forest. Then they were seriously injured by Tang Chen and used as hostages by Tang Chen to lure Bo Sixi out. None of them wanted to harm Bo Sixi, so they were trying their best to keep Bo Sixi from coming out. Yes, you shout louder, ha ha ha. Tang Chen laughed and loosened the necks of Xiaoyao and Sea Witch a little, so that the voices of Xiaoyao and Sea Witch could draw Bo Sixi out. Eurasian, Sea Witch, on the ground in the forest not far below Tang Chen, Bo Sixi was held in Long Xiaoyao's arms. Looking at the seriously injured Xiaoyao and Sea Witch who were pinched in Tang Chen's hands, she felt very distressed and struggled. He wanted to save Xiaoyao and the Sea Witch. At the same time, Bo Sixi was also extremely angry with Tang Chen. She now wanted to kill Tang Chen directly. Zir, calm down. Long Xiaoyao hugged Bo Sixi tightly, preventing Bo Sixi from acting rashly, and at the same time, he also advised Bo Sixi. Oh yeah, and Sea Witch are like that, how can you tell me to calm down? Let me go, Bo Sixi yelled at Long Xiaoyao, while struggling hard to save Xiaoyao and the Sea Witch. Sea Witch is Bo Sixi's good sister, and she watched Xiaoyao grow up. She has deep feelings for Xiaoyao and Sea Witch. She saw that Xiaoyao and Sea Witch have become like this, unable to keep calm at all. I know you are angry now, and I am angry too, but anger alone cannot save Xiaoyao and the Sea Witch. If you rush out like this and Tang Chen uses Xiaoyao and Sea Witch as hostages to threaten you, what should you do? Do you insist on fighting Tang Chen regardless of their life or death, or just give up resistance and let Tang Chen do whatever he wants to you? Long Xiaoyao hugged Bo Sixi tightly and said to Bo Sixi at the same time, end of this chapter. Period. Chapter 185 The Despicable Tang Chen. Then what should we do? Bo Sixi asked Long Xiaoyao helplessly. She found that Long Xiaoyao was right. If Tang Chen used Xiaoyao and Sea Witch as hostages, even if Long Xiaoyao was added, it would be difficult for them to save Xiaoyao and Sea Witch. Sea Witch. Our advantage now is that Tang Chen doesn't know my existence, let alone that you have fully recovered. We must make good use of these 2 points. First put on the tattered clothes you were wearing yesterday, then hide your soul power and pretend to be seriously injured to attract Tang Chen's attention. If we can get Tang Chen to let go of Xiaoyao and Sea Witch, and if you fight with him again, it would be best to force him to compete with you with soul skills. Then I will directly attack him. If Tang Chen insists on using Xiaoyao and Sea Witch as hostages to threaten you, you should try your best to attract Tang Chen's attention. I will find an opportunity to rescue Xiaoyao and Sea Witch, and then we will fight Tang Chen together. Long Xiaoyao told him his method and put Bo Sixi down at the same time. Then he took out the tattered clothes that Bo Sixi had changed yesterday from the space ring and handed them to Bo Sixi before. Bo Sixi, there are still 2 minutes left. At this moment, Tang Chen smiled and shouted loudly. The sound was so loud that it spread throughout a radius of 50 miles. Despicable guy, you actually want to get the high priest? You are not even worthy of carrying the high priest's shoes. I bother. The Sea Witch scolded Tang Chen and at the same time spat in Tang Chen's face desperately. I bother. Xiaoyao also spat on Tang Chen's face desperately. Because Tang Chen let go just now, the Sea Witch breathed a sigh of relief. She was very angry when she heard that Tang Chen was using them to threaten Bo Sixi. Tang Chen didn't expect that the Sea Witch would actually say that, let alone that the Sea Witch and Xiaoyao would spit in his face, and was directly hit by the 2 mouthfuls of spit. Caw. Hearing the Sea Witch's words and feeling the saliva on his face, Tang Chen felt extremely angry and gritted his teeth in anger. It seems you are really not afraid of death, then I will fulfill you, Tang Chen said angrily, and increased the strength of his hands, tightly holding the necks of Xiaoyao and Sea Witch. Xiaoyao and Sea Witch were choked by Tang Chen and were choked with pain, showing extremely painful expressions. But Tang Chen didn't kill him. He still needed to use Xiaoyao and the Sea Witch to lure Bo Sixi out. He was just torturing Xiaoyao and the Sea Witch. Okay, I'll do as you say. When Bo Sixi saw Tang Chen torturing Xiaoyao and Sea Witch, he felt extremely angry and nodded immediately. Then Bo Sexy directly took her tattered clothes, and in front of Long Xiaoyao, he quickly took off her clothes and put on her tattered clothes. The whole process only cost less than 1 minute. Bo Sexy, there's only 1 minute left. Are you really not going to come out? Just after Bo Sexy changed his clothes, Tang Chen shouted loudly again. He was now a little worried that Bo Sexy would really not come out. Okay, let's take action immediately, plop. Long Xiaoyao looked at Bo Sexy, who had put on tattered clothes, nodded, and then directly waved his Suzuka wings and flew from the bottom of the forest to the rear of Tang Chen, preparing to find a suitable place to attack Tang Chen, or save Yuena and the Sea Witch. Okay. Bo Sexy looked at Long Xiaoyao, who had flown away, and nodded, then blocked the flow of her mental power and most of her soul power, and also blocked her body's functions, making her look like she was seriously injured. Look like. Tang Chen, I'm here. Then Bo Sexy flew into the air, shouted loudly at Tang Chen, and flew towards Tang Chen at the same time. Bo Sexy, you are finally willing to come out. After hearing Bo Sexy's words, Tang Chen looked for his voice and found that Bo Sexy was slowly flying towards him. Seeing that Bo Sexy was seriously injured and extremely sexy, he showed a proud smile. Smiling from ear to ear. Who? At the same time, Tang Chen also loosened his grip on Yuena and Sea Witch, making Yuena and Sea Witch breathe a sigh of relief. Tang Chen, please let Yuena and Sea Witch go. If you have any problem, come to me. Flying in front of Tang Chen, about 50 meters away from Tang Chen, Bo Sexy said to Tang Chen in a commanding tone, but she did not forget to disguise her voice to make Tang Chen sound like her. He looks like he's still seriously injured. Okay, but you must first agree to be my woman, and you must obey me no matter what you do in the future, otherwise I will kill them directly. Tang Chen smiled and threatened Bo Sexy. He just wanted to get Bo Sexy, so he just put aside what God sure told him. Now that Tang Chen saw that Bo Sexy cared so much about Yuena and the Sea Witch, he believed that if he threatened Bo Sexy with Yuena and the Sea Witch, he would definitely be able to make Bo Sexy become his woman. You, despicable and shameless. Hearing Tang Chen's threat, Bo Sexy felt extremely angry and gritted his teeth in anger, but he had no choice but to scold Tang Chen. Master High Priest, I'm sorry, it's all our fault for harming you. Yuena and Sea Witch turned their heads desperately to look at Bo Sexy, and said to Bo Sexy guiltily, if they had known that Bo Sexy had hidden, they would never have entered the forest before. That way they would not be caught by Tang Chen and used as hostages to threaten Bo Sexy. They all regret it now. Don't worry about us, just leave. Yuena and Sea Witch choked and begged Bo Sexy. They felt that Bo Sexy was no match for Tang Chen, and they did not want Bo Sexy to become Tang Chen's woman because of them. It's okay, don't worry, I will definitely save you. Bo Sexy assuredly comforted Yuena and the Sea Witch, her eyes filled with distress. What she wanted to do most now was to kill Tang Chen and save Yuena and the Sea Witch. It's easy to save the two of them, as long as you agree to my request just now. Don't worry, I will treat you well in the future. Tang Chen showed a wolf-like smile and said to Bo Sexy with a smile. If you want to get me, then use your strength to conquer me. Don't use such despicable means. It will only make me look down on you. Bo Sexy deliberately provoked Tang Chen and was ready to fight, but he looked like a person who was seriously injured and wanted to fight to the death. The reason why Bo Sexy did this was to let Tang Chen let Yuena and Sea Witch go, so that she could entangle Tang Chen and allow Long Xiaoyao to sneak attack Tang Chen. This is not called meanness, this is called having brains, and you already know my strength. You are no match for me. I can't bear to fight with you, otherwise I will be sad if I hurt you. Tang Chen showed a proud smile and said to Bo Sexy with a smile. Are you afraid of being defeated by me? What a coward. Bo Sexy showed a disdainful smile and laughed at Tang Chen. I'm afraid of being defeated by you. What, are you kidding? Ha ha ha. After hearing Bo Sexy's words, Tang Chen burst out laughing. If you are not afraid, then let them go and fight with me, Bo Sexy said domineeringly. She was a little relieved, because she felt that Tang Chen would let Yuena and Sea Witch go to fight her. Okay, but I'm going to crush them to death first as punishment for resisting me. Tang Chen showed a sinister smile and said with a smile, end of this chapter. Period. Chapter 186 Battle with Tang Chen, Annihilation vs. Lingshan Strike Up. As soon as he finished speaking, Tang Chen started to pinch Yuena and Sea Witch's necks violently, causing Yuena and Sea Witch to moan in pain, and their expressions became extremely painful. Stop, let them go. Bo Saxi immediately raised his jade hand with great nervousness and shouted to Tang Chen with all his strength. His expression was extremely nervous and worried, and his eyes were full of endless anger. Bo Saxi never expected that Tang Chen, as a peerless Douluo, would not only use Ah Yin and Sea Witch as hostages to threaten her. And seeing that she didn't agree to Tang Chen's rogue request, she even wanted to kill Ah Yin and the Sea Witch directly. Bo Saxi now not only dislikes and hates Tang Chen, but also looks down on Tang Chen. However, Bo Saxi was even more worried about Ah Yin and the Sea Witch now, but she did not rush to Tang Chen to save Ah Yin and the Sea Witch. Because Bo Saxi knew that Tang Chen had the ability to strangle Ah Yin and the Sea Witch to death before she could rush to Tang Chen and fight with Tang Chen to save Ah Yin and the Sea Witch. You can let them go if you want me to, as long as you agree to my request just now. Hearing Bo Saxi's roar, Tang Chen stopped strangling Ah Yin and Sea Witch to death, looked at Bo Saxi, reminded Bo Saxi with a proud smile. Xiaoyao, hurry up. Now it's up to you to save Ah Yin and the Sea Witch. Bo Saxi was extremely helpless now. She could only pray in her heart that Long Xiaoyao would act quickly and save Ah Yin and the Sea Witch. Bo Saxi already hated Tang Chen, so it was impossible for her to agree to Tang Chen's request. What's more, it was even more impossible for her now that she was Long Xiaoyao's woman. After seeing Tang Chen's actions and hearing Tang Chen's words, Bo Saxi knew that if he wanted to save Ah Yin and the Sea Witch, he could only rely on Long Xiaoyao. How about it? You chose to agree to be my woman and you will listen to me in everything from now on, or do you choose to let the two of them die? Tang Chen asked Bo Saxi with a smile. You are such a scumbag. Hearing Tang Chen's questioning, Bo Saxi was so angry that he clenched his pink fists, his eyes filled with anger, but he had no choice but to gnash his teeth and curse. Wrong answer. It seems that you chose to let the two of them die, then don't blame me. Tang Chen heard Bo Saxi scolding him. Instead of being angry, he said with a very regretful look. Then Tang Chen immediately strengthened his hands and prepared to strangle Ah Yin and Sea Witch to death. Just when Tang Chen was about to strangle Ah Yin and Sea Witch to death, he felt a very powerful aura suddenly emerge from behind him. What shocked him was that he could actually feel this aura. Fearful, he immediately turned around. 8 red soul rings, or twin martial souls, is it Long Xiaoyao? And every martial spirit is an extremely powerful martial spirit. Tang Chen had just turned around when he saw that he had just escaped into the chaotic space and was in the sky behind him. He was surrounded by 8 red soul rings. He had already displayed his true form, wearing a furry armor, and holding his hands. Long Xiaoyao, who was holding the dazzling, blood-red light of the destruction god-killing sword, was attacking him at high speed, which made him extremely shocked. Because Tang Chen discovered that not only the aura of Long Xiaoyao's Maoder martial spirit was actually more sacred and powerful than the aura of Seraphim's martial spirit. Moreover, the aura of Long Xiaoyao's god-destroying sword spirit was actually more powerful and terrifying than the aura of his clear sky hammer spirit. The most important thing is that Tang Chen also felt the aura of destruction from the aura of Long Xiaoyao's god-destroying sword spirit. This aura of destruction made him feel frightened. Tang Chen also saw the reward order from Wuhun Palace. Although Long Xiaoyao's face was now wrapped in a fur calf armor, so that he could not see Long Xiaoyao's face, he also recognized that the person who attacked him was Long Xiaoyao. Carefree. However, Tang Chen couldn't figure out why Long Xiaoyao suddenly appeared behind him and even attacked him. Happy, Bo Saxi was also shocked when he saw Long Xiaoyao suddenly appear behind Tang Chen and was rapidly attacking Tang Chen. Because it was the first time for Bo Saxi to see Long Xiaoyao use his martial spirit to attack, she did not expect that Long Xiaoyao actually had the ability to escape, nor did she expect that Long Xiaoyao's Mao Calf martial spirit and the destruction god-killing sword martial spirit could be so powerful. At the same time, seeing Long Xiaoyao taking action, Bo Saxi finally felt at ease. The secret of destruction sword technique, Long Xiaoyao didn't give Tang Chen any chance to react, and directly prepared for annihilation with all his strength, waving his Suzuki wings, and quickly attacked Tang Chen. Long Xiaoyao felt that Tang Chen, as a peerless Douluo, would not threaten Bo Saxi with Ah Yin and Sea Witch, but instead let Ah Yin and Sea Witch go to fight Bo Saxi. So he had already taken out the destruction god-killing spear at the bottom of the forest, and planned to use the destruction god-killing spear to sneak attack Tang Chen while Bo Saxi and Tang Chen were dueling with soul skills. But Long Xiaoyao discovered that Tang Chen actually threatened Bo Saxi with Ah Yin and Sea Witch, and after Tang Chen saw that Bo Sixi refused to submit, he actually wanted to kill Ah Yin directly. Although Tang Chen's attention was attracted by Bo Sixi just now, the power of the destroying god-killing spear is too great. If Xiaoyao used the destroying god-killing spear to sneak attack Tang Chen, it is very likely that together with Ah Yin which injured or even killed directly. So Xiaoyao just put away the destruction god-killing spear, escaped into the chaotic space, used Maoto's true form, summoned the destruction god-killing sword, and charged up to prepare for annihilation. Xiaoyao planned to use annihilation to force Tang Chen to fight with him, thereby releasing Ah Yin which. Seeing Xiaoyao coming at him quickly, and feeling the terrifying aura emitted by Xiaoyao's destruction god-killing sword, especially the aura of destruction within it, Tang Chen did not dare to take it lightly, and he directly activated his soul ring. Buzz! From Tang Chen's feet, 9 soul rings, black, 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 and red, quickly rose up, and a powerful and terrifying aura immediately spread. Immediately afterwards, Tang Chen directly let go of Ah Yin which's jade neck, condensed the pitch-black and blood-red Haoshan hammer in his hands, and injected a large amount of soul power into the Haoshan hammer. He was ready to block Xiaoyao's attack. Annihilation. At this moment, Xiaoyao had arrived in front of Tang Chen. He directly united his waist and horse, concentrated all his strength, and slashed at Tang Chen with all his strength. Link beyond strikes. Although Tang Chen had not fully accumulated his strength, he saw that Xiaoyao had already launched an attack on him, so he had no choice but to use Lingshan Strike, swinging his clear sky hammer and smashing it towards Xiaoyao. Zhang, the god-killing blade of destruction and the clear sky hammer collided heavily, making an extremely loud sound and creating an extremely powerful shock wave that blew in all directions. Although Tang Chen is a level 99 peerless Douluo, Xiaoyao is only a level, Soul Douluo. But Xiaoyao got the 5 great soul beasts and the 3 great ferocious beasts to sacrifice themselves, and his combat power was comparable to that of a level 98 super Douluo. Moreover, Xiaoyao's annihilation had used all his strength. Tang Chen had no time to use all his strength due to time constraints. Therefore, the power of Xiaoyao's annihilation was not much different from that of Tang Chen's Lingshan Strike. The two sides fought evenly, and for a while neither of them could defeat the other. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 187 Old Cow Eats Young Grass? Eurasian, Sea Witch, whoosh. Seeing Ah Yin Witch falling rapidly towards the forest below because of Tang Chen's letting go and the shock wave caused by the fight between Xiaoyao and Tang Chen, Bo Sixi immediately flew towards Ah Yin Witch. At the critical moment, Bo Sixi hugged Ah Yin Witch in time to prevent Ah Yin Witch from falling into the forest. The High Priest, it's okay, you're okay, Ah Yin Witch were held by Bo Sixi, desperately trying to say something, but at this moment, they were in so much pain that it was very difficult to even speak, so Bo Sixi immediately comforted them. Whoosh! Then Bo Sixi immediately carried Ah Yin Witch and flew far away, keeping Ah Yin Witch away from the battlefield and ensuring the safety of Ah Yin Witch. Why did you attack me? Tang Chen gritted his teeth and stared at Xiaoyao, questioning Xiaoyao, while strengthening his strength. Tang Chen didn't remember that he had any grudge against Xiaoyao, and couldn't understand why Xiaoyao suddenly attacked him. What's more, it even caused Bo Sixi to rescue Ah Yin Witch, which made Tang Chen feel extremely angry. Tang Chen now wants to kill Xiaoyao directly, but he first needs to find out why Xiaoyao attacked him sneakily. Because you hurt my woman, Xiaoyao said to Tang Chen coldly, and at the same time, he strengthened his strength against Tang Chen. Xiaoyao saw what Tang Chen did, saw how Ah Yin Witch were seriously injured, and remembered how Bo Sixi was seriously injured yesterday. Now, like Bo Sixi, he felt extremely angry at Tang Chen and wanted to directly kill Tang Chen. I hurt your woman. Hearing Xiaoyao's words, Tang Chen had a question mark on his face. He was sure that this was the first time he met Xiaoyao. He didn't know Xiaoyao at all, nor did he know Xiaoyao's woman, let alone the woman who injured Xiaoyao. Is it the one named Xiao? Tang Chen asked Xiaoyao curiously. He remembered that the only women he had injured recently were Bo Sixi, Ah Yin Witch. Tang Chen looked at Xiaoyao's young appearance and felt that the my woman Xiaoyao mentioned should refer to Xiao. Because Tang Chen felt that Long Xiaoyao was too young and was only at level, Bo Sixi should look down on Long Xiaoyao. As the sea witch is from the mermaid tribe, Tang Chen felt that the sea witch should not be Long Xiaoyao's woman. It's zir, drink, Long Xiaoyao shouted loudly, and at the same time, he used all his strength to fight off Tang Chen. What? Tang Chen was extremely shocked when he heard Long Xiaoyao's answer. He knew that the zir in Long Xiaoyao's mouth should refer to Bo Sixi. But Tang Chen never expected that Bo Sixi was already Long Xiaoyao's woman. Boom. Immediately afterwards, with an explosion, Long Xiaoyao and Tang Chen flew backwards. Boom. Tang Chen mobilized his soul power, struggled to stabilize his body, and looked at Long Xiaoyao. Plop. Long Xiaoyao waved his Suzaku wings vigorously, stabilized his figure, and looked at Tang Chen. Xiaoyao, are you okay? At this moment, Bo Sixi flew to Long Xiaoyao's side, stared at Tang Chen warily, and asked Long Xiaoyao with concern. Bo Sixi had already sent Aoya and Sea Witch to the distant mountains, and then rushed to Long Xiaoyao's side immediately to help Long Xiaoyao. First, Bo Sixi was worried that Long Xiaoyao could not defeat Tang Chen alone. Secondly, Bo Sixi knew that only by helping Long Xiaoyao defeat Tang Chen quickly could Long Xiaoyao be able to help the seriously injured Aoya and Sea Witch treat their injuries. I'm fine, don't worry, Long Xiaoyao comforted Bo Sixi and said that he was indeed fine. I didn't expect Tang Chen to be so strong. He actually managed to catch the annihilation I used with all my strength with ease. Looks like it's going to be a tough fight. The speed and power of Long Xiaoyao's attack just now were already very fast, but it was still easily blocked by Tang Chen. Long Xiaoyao knew that now that Tang Chen knew of his existence, it would be very difficult for him to sneak attack Tang Chen like before, and there would definitely be a hard fight next. Buzz! Hearing Long Xiaoyao's heartfelt wishes, Bo Sixi directly activated the soul rings. 9 soul rings, black, 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 and red, rose rapidly under her feet. Immediately afterwards, Bo Sixi directly condensed a huge Poseidon martial spirit that exuded sky blue light. She was ready for battle. She planned to protect Long Xiaoyao. Tang Chen saw Bo Sixi worried about Long Xiaoyao and confirmed that just as Long Xiaoyao said, Bo Sixi was already Long Xiaoyao's woman. This made him feel very unhappy. He clenched the clear sky hammer in his hand, his face it is full of envy, jealousy and hatred. Because Tang Chen has been attracted to Bo Sixi for a long time, and the reason why he became like this is to gain more power and make Bo Sixi his woman. But now, Bo Sixi is Long Xiaoyao's woman. Tang Chen looked at Long Xiaoyao, wanting to know how he was inferior to Long Xiaoyao, and wanting to know why Bo Sixi chose Long Xiaoyao. It seems that apart from level, I have nothing that can compare to Long Xiaoyao. After Tang Chen looked at Long Xiaoyao carefully, he found that except for his current level, there was no one else who could compare to Long Xiaoyao, and he felt deeply shocked in his heart. Ha, I really didn't think of it. So Bo Sixi, you like old cows eating young grass. I actually found a pretty boy who is so much younger than you to be my man. According to your age, he should be able to call you grandma, right? No wonder you rejected me and Jin Daoliu back then. Ha. Tang Chen laughed deliberately and mocked Bo Sixi. Although Tang Chen couldn't see Long Xiaoyao's face now, he remembered that Long Xiaoyao on the Wuhan Palace reward order was very young, no more than 20 years old at most. The reason why he said this was to destroy the relationship between Long Xiaoyao and Bo Sixi and make Bo Sixi feel guilty, so as to relieve the unhappiness in his heart. Hearing Tang Chen's ridicule, Bo Sixi felt extremely angry, but could not find the words to refute. Because what Tang Chen said was true, according to Bo Sixi's age, she could indeed ask Long Xiaoyao to call her grandma. Bo Sixi was very worried that Long Xiaoyao would mind her age, and she became panicked for a moment. Ha. Hearing Tang Chen's words, Long Xiaoyao couldn't help laughing loudly. As a psychiatrist, how could he not see that Tang Chen was jealous? He felt that Tang Chen looked very ridiculous. Why are you laughing? Tang Chen stared at Long Xiaoyao and asked. Bo Sixi also looked at Long Xiaoyao nervously. What she cared about most now was what Long Xiaoyao thought after hearing what Tang Chen said. I'm laughing at you because Zaire doesn't like you but falls in love with me. She feels envious, jealous and hates me, but she still pretends not to care and deliberately mocks Zaire for becoming my woman. It's really pitiful. Long Xiaoyao said directly and affirmatively, with a hint of ridicule in his words. When Bo Seixi heard Long Xiaoyao's words, she still looked at him nervously. What she was most concerned about was not what Tang Chen was thinking now, but what Long Xiaoyao was thinking. You are talking nonsense. How could I envy you? When Tang Chen heard that Long Xiaoyao had exposed him directly, he panicked for a moment and spoke incoherently. Am I wrong? Or maybe you don't know that Bo Seixi is already old enough for you to call her grandma. Tang Chen questioned Long Xiaoyao and said that he knew that it was true that Bo Seixi's age allowed Long Xiaoyao to call her grandma, and he wanted to use this to destroy the relationship between Long Xiaoyao and Bo Seixi. After hearing Tang Chen's question, Bo Seixi also looked at Long Xiaoyao, waiting for Long Xiaoyao's answer. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 188 Female Junior, holding gold bricks. I know Zir is older than me, but what does it matter? The love between men and women has no age distinction. As long as they grow up, it will be fine. Besides, as the saying goes, female junior, holding golden bricks, a woman's, birthday brings her country to the world. A female college student will receive an elixir for 300 years. 3,000 female students are ranked in the immortal class. The queen mother of 30,000 women feeds her. Women's university, 30 yuan, stands at the door of Buddha. A female college student has 300 million, and you have the final say in the three realms. If you are a female college student worth 3,000 million, the 6 worlds will revolve around you. 300 million women will create the world. The female college student is 30 billion, and Pangu is the younger brother. 300 billion female students rub the Milky Way with their hands. The girl is worth 3,000 billion, and she can fuck her for 9 days and 10 places with her bare hands. Exclamation mark. Where is this saying? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Seixi and Tang Chen were both confused and shocked. This was the first time they had heard such a saying. But it sounded so reasonable that they couldn't refute it. So I am very lucky to be able to make Zir my woman. It's too late for me to be happy, so why would I mind? Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao temporarily dissipated the furry helmet, then looked at Bo Seixi beside him, smiled and said to Bo Seixi, his words were full of affirmation. As a psychiatrist, Long Xiaoyao couldn't see that Bo Seixi was very worried that he would mind Bo Seixi's age after hearing what Tang Chen just said. Long Xiaoyao didn't lie to Bo Seixi. This was what he really thought in his heart. Happy, hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, looking at Long Xiaoyao's smiling face, and not hearing Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, Bo Seixi confirmed that what Long Xiaoyao just said was Long Xiaoyao's true thoughts. She felt very happy and showed a happy smile. Okay, immediately afterwards, in order to prove the authenticity of what he just said, Long Xiaoyao directly kissed Bo Seixi's jade lips, making Bo Seixi couldn't help but let out a pleasant moan. Bo Seixi was suddenly kissed by Long Xiaoyao. Instead of being displeased at all, she felt extremely happy. Her eyes were so excited that tears were about to flow out. She felt extremely happy. When Tang Chen heard Long Xiaoyao's words, especially when he saw Long Xiaoyao kissing Bo Seixi directly in front of him, he felt extremely angry. His eyes were filled with anger, and he held the clear sky hammer with even greater strength. Shut up, Bo Seixi is mine, I am going to kill you, Tang Chen roared at Long Xiaoyao, but after thinking about it, he felt that killing Long Xiaoyao like this was a little too cheap for Long Xiaoyao. No. I will beat you seriously first, and then turn Bo Seixi into my woman in front of you, Tang Chen shouted at Long Xiaoyao. Haoshin's real body. Immediately afterwards, Tang Chen raised the clear sky hammer and directly used the clear sky body. Buzz! I saw majestic soul power erupting from Tang Chen's body and converging on the clear sky hammer in his hand. The clear sky hammer quickly became huge, exuding terrifying power. After hearing Tang Chen's words, Long Xiaoyao and Bo Seixi felt very angry. Especially Long Xiaoyao, who now has completely murderous intentions towards Tang Chen. You are dreaming, I will not let you succeed, I will definitely protect Zir, and I will definitely kill you today. Long Xiaoyao let go of Bo Seixi's jade lips and shouted angrily at Tang Chen. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao condensed a fur helmet to cover his head, and was already mobilizing his soul power, preparing to use his most powerful killing move. Happy, when Bo Seixi heard Long Xiaoyao's words and saw that Long Xiaoyao was so angry because of her, she felt extremely happy and smiled happily. Joke, just you. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Tang Chen showed a disdainful smile and said nonchalantly, "If I give you a few more decades and wait until you reach the same level as me, maybe you can defeat me, but now, even with Bosexi, you two can't beat me. Just wait and see how I play Bosexi later." "Ha ha ha," Tang Chen said arrogantly, and then burst into laughter, but he did not stop condensing Haoshin's body. "Zir, help me buy some time. I'm going to kill Tang Chen with a knife later." Long Xiaoyao ignored Tang Chen and spoke to Bosexi confidently. "It is good," Bosexi nodded, although she originally thought that Long Xiaoyao, who was level, would be unable to defeat Tang Chen. But when Bosexi saw Long Xiaoyao's extremely confident look, she chose to believe in Long Xiaoyao. Avatar of the Sea God. Immediately afterwards, Bosexi directly mobilized his soul power and displayed the Poseidon true body. Buzz! I saw vast soul power, perfectly integrated with extremely powerful spiritual power, bursting out from Bosexi's body. The fusion, with Bosexi as the center, quickly condensed to form the true body of Poseidon, and it is also constantly the ground grew rapidly. Whoosh! Long Xiaoyao waved with Suzuka wings and flew higher into the sky, directly submerging into the clouds and disappearing from the sight of Bosexi and Tang Chen. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao began to mobilize almost all of his soul power, preparing for the strongest attack he could make without using Maotu's bloodline. If Long Xiaoyao used the blood of Maotu, his combat power would be directly comparable to peerless Douluo, or even better. But Long Xiaoyao knew that the gods in the god realm could sense his Maotu bloodline. He knew that even if he used the Maotu bloodline, he still couldn't compete with those gods in the god realm. So Long Xiaoyao knew that he couldn't use the Maotu bloodline now. Bosexi, your pretty boy abandoned you and ran away, ha ha ha. Seeing Long Xiaoyao flying higher into the sky, he smiled and said to Bosexi. Although he felt that Long Xiaoyao would not abandon Bosexi, he still said so in order to disturb Bosexi's heart. The ninth soul skill, Bosexi ignored Tang Chen because she believed in Long Xiaoyao. Now that she had condensed the huge Poseidon's true form, she directly mobilized her soul power and used her ninth soul skill. Buzz! Immediately afterwards, the hands controlling the Poseidon's true form were seen placed on her chest, attracting the power of the surrounding heaven and earth to merge with her soul power. In the middle of the hands of Poseidon's true form, a sky blue energy light ball condensed and formed, exuding a dazzling light. The light contained a terrifying aura, and it continued to grow rapidly. Your injuries are all healed. Tang Chen looked at Bosexi's ninth soul skill and found that it was even more powerful than the ninth soul skill he used when fighting Bosexi yesterday. He knew that Bosexi's injury had healed. Extremely shocked. Because according to Tang Chen's memory, he felt that the injury Bosexi suffered yesterday would take at least a month to recover. He never expected that only one day had passed before Bosexi fully recovered. Xiaoyao helped me cure it, Bosexi said proudly. She said this just to let Tang Chen know how powerful Long Xiaoyao was, and to show off to Tang Chen. What? Tang Chen was extremely shocked when he heard Bosexi's words. He felt that Bosexi must not have lied, and the facts weren't already in front of him. So what if you're cured? You can never be my opponent here, Tang Chen said disdainfully that as long as he was not at sea, he was sure that he could crush Bosexi. End of this chapter. Chapter 189 Breaking the Extreme, Destruction. Three Wonders of Haoshin. At this time, Tang Chen had also condensed the huge Haoshin avatar, and he also used his three Haoshin skills. Buzz! Tang Chen was seen injecting a large amount of soul power into Haoshin's body, and the power of the surrounding heaven and earth, especially the power of the earth below, began to flow towards the Haoshin hammer. Click click. As a result, Tang Chen's Haoshin body flashed with white thunder and lightning, and there was a hint of blood red in the white thunder and lightning, making the entire Haoshin body not only look very scary, but also exuding a strange aura, which made people feel to the point of shuddering. Tang Chen planned to hurt Bosexi first, then Long Xiaoyao, and then rape Bosexi in front of Long Xiaoyao. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao had arrived high in the sky. Buzz! Immediately afterwards, after having already used the Maoter martial spirit and summoned the wings of the vermilion bird, Long Xiaoyao summoned the Killin's right arm soul bone and Kanglong's left arm soul bone, as well as the white tiger's right leg soul bone and the chaos left arm. Leg soul bones are used to greatly enhance strength. The third form of the destruction sword technique, then Long Xiaoyao held the destruction god-slaying sword with both hands, injected almost all the soul power into the destruction god-slaying sword, and began to charge the third move of the destruction sword technique. Buzz! I saw that the power of heaven and earth around Long Xiaoyao was converging towards Long Xiaoyao's God-destroying God-killing sword. Fusion with Long Xiaoyao's soul power caused the God-destroying God-slaying sword to light up directly, exuding an extremely terrifying aura. It emits a dazzling blood-red light. And as Long Xiaoyao continued to inject soul power into the destruction God-slaying sword, and the surrounding power of heaven and earth continued to integrate, the destruction God-slaying sword became increasingly red. From a distance, Long Xiaoyao's destruction God-killing sword looked like a blood-red moon, emitting a dazzling blood-red light, as if it was foreshadowing something. And the aura and light of the God-destroying sword of destruction also contained a terrifying aura of destruction, which was intimidating and made people dare not look directly at it. Although Long Xiaoyao's level has not reached level 99, he has already understood the 9 laws. The power of heaven and earth is the power of all things, and exists in all things, including air, clouds, etc. Therefore, Long Xiaoyao can also mobilize a certain amount of power of heaven and earth, and the power of heaven and earth he can mobilize is even greater than that Tang Chen, who has the geographical advantage, can mobilize. Because Tang Chen could only feel the power of heaven and earth contained in all things in the world because he reached level 99, and he did not understand any laws of heaven and earth. The hammer shakes the world. After a while, Tang Chen had already gathered his strength. He directly held the Haoshan body and rose into the air. He swung the Haoshan hammer and smashed it towards Bo Saixi with a devastating force. See Divine Light, Bo Saixi had also prepared her 9th soul skill. She directly pushed it out with both hands, and the Poseidon's true form followed suit. Boom! Suddenly, the sky blue ball of light launched an extremely powerful sky blue beam of light, blasting towards Tang Chen with devastating force. Bang bang bang! The sky blue beam of light directly bombarded Haoshan's body, making violent explosions one after another, and also generating extremely powerful shock waves that impacted in all directions. Click click! The clouds in the sky were blown away directly, and the forest below was centered directly below the bombardment point and with a radius of 3 miles. The flowers, plants and trees within this range were broken off, and flew in all directions along with the shock wave. At first, Bo Saixi's Sea Divine Light was able to withstand Tang Chen's hammering of the world, making it impossible for Tang Chen to get close to Bo Saixi. But Tang Chen had the blessing of the power of the earth, while Bo Saixi did not have the blessing of the power of the ocean. So within a short time, Bo Saixi's Sea God Light could no longer stop Tang Chen from shaking the world. Tang Chen's Haoshan body was seen holding the sky blue beam of light emitted by Poseidon's true body, constantly approaching Poseidon's true body, and the speed was getting faster and faster. Drink. Bo Saixi tried his best to resist Tang Chen for a while, so that Long Xiaoyao would have time to prepare. But Tang Chen's advantage was too strong, and Bo Saixi only slowed down Haoshan's attack on her a little. In less than 3 seconds, Tang Chen waved Haoshan's avatar, holding the sky blue beam, and arrived in front of the Poseidon's avatar. He was already less than 30 meters away from the Poseidon's avatar. Whoosh! At this moment, Long Xiaoyao held the God Destruction Sword that exuded a dazzling blood-red light in his right hand. He waved the Suzuka wings and turned into a blood-red stream of light, piercing the clouds and striking towards Tang Chen quickly. The 4 soul bones on Long Xiaoyao's limbs have lit up, greatly enhancing his speed and strength. What? Tang Chen noticed that Long Xiaoyao was attacking him rapidly, especially when he felt the extremely powerful and terrifying aura of destruction exuded by Long Xiaoyao's destruction god-killing sword, which made him shudder and shocked. Happy, Bo Saixi saw Long Xiaoyao attacking Tang Chen quickly, and felt the destructive aura emitted by Long Xiaoyao's destruction god-killing blade, which made her feel frightened. She was also very surprised. She now also believes in Long Xiaoyao. Xiaoyao was able to kill Tang Chen with 1 blow. Kill God Domain, Tang Chen directly opened the God of Death Domain, and the light red God of Death Domain immediately spread out with Tang Chen as the center, covering Tang Chen's entire body. Haoshan bodyguard, Immediately afterwards, Tang Chen directly used all the remaining soul power, and with a blessing of the killing god realm, he used Haoshan body protection, building a thick layer of light red soul power around his body. Barrier, hoping to withstand Long Xiaoyao's attack. Because Tang Chen saw that Long Xiaoyao was so fast, even if he wasn't fighting Bo Saixi with his soul skills, it would be difficult to avoid him. What's more, Tang Chen is currently fighting Bo Saixi's soul skill. He knows that he can't dodge, nor can he defeat Bo Seixi's 9th soul skill before Long Xiaoyao attacks him. Retreat from Bo Sixi. So Tang Chen chose to build up a defense with all his strength, hoping to withstand Long Xiaoyao's attack. At this time, Long Xiaoyao had already broken into Tang Chen's realm of the God of Death, and came to the soul barrier built by Tang Chen. He raised the destruction god-killing sword, held it with both hands, and united his waist and horse to move all of them. All the power was concentrated. Broken pole, destruction, Long Xiaoyao slashed directly at the soul barrier that Tang Chen had built with all his strength. Although Tang Chen is a peerless Douluo at level 99, Long Xiaoyao is not as good as Tang Chen in level, and is only older than Long Xiaoyao. No other Tang Chen can compare to Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao's destruction sword technique is a god-level technique, and he not only used almost all of his soul power, but also used his true body, 5 soul bones, and even mobilized a large amount of the power of heaven and earth. The most important thing is that the law of destruction is also used. Tang Chen only used Haoshin's body protection, and he was also competing with Bo Sixi with soul skills. Although Tang Chen had already opened the killing god domain, Long Xiaoyao was still a young calf. Although he was only in his infancy, he would not be weakened by the small killing god domain boom. I saw Long Xiaoyao slashing at the soul power barrier built by Tang Chen. The soul power barrier failed to stop Long Xiaoyao for a second, and was directly slashed by Long Xiaoyao. What? Tang Chen never expected that Long Xiaoyao could directly destroy his Haoshin body protecting soul barrier. He was extremely shocked, and his eyes were filled with disbelief and fear. Fear of death. Go to hell. Long Xiaoyao didn't give Tang Chen time to react. He held the destruction god-killing sword and slashed directly at Tang Chen. End of this chapter. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 190 Killing Tang Chen. Drink. Tang Chen looked at Long Xiaoyao, who was slashing at him with a god-killing saber of destruction in both hands. He knew that he could not avoid it. So Tang Chen let go of the clear sky hammer, turned to Long Xiaoyao, crossed his hands, used all his strength, and used all the remaining soul power to strengthen his hands. And he built a thick, blood-red soul power layer on his hands, hoping to resist Long Xiaoyao's attack. Zhang. Long Xiaoyao slashed hard on Tang Chen's hands with a knife, making a deafening sound, continuously and quickly destroying the soul power layer on Tang Chen's hands. At the same time, because Tang Chen's Haoshin body did not have his support, it was directly knocked away by Bo Seixi's Sea God Light. Drink. Bo Seixi did not stop because he had repelled Tang Chen's Haoshin incarnation, but directly let the Sea God's light shoot towards Tang Chen. At this time, Tang Chen, because he was resisting Long Xiaoyao's Paji, destruction, and Tang Chen had already used all his soul power, was unable to avoid Bo Seixi's Sea God Light, and had no extra soul power to do so. The Poseidon who was defending Bo Seixi was illuminated. Just when Bo Seixi's Sea God Light was about to hit Tang Chen's body, a blood-red stream of light shot out from behind Tang Chen's body and exploded into the distance. It was the blood-red 9-headed Bat King parasitic in Tang Chen's body. What kind of soul beast is that? Bo Seixi noticed a blood-red stream of light emitting from Tang Chen's body, and saw clearly that it was a blood-red bat with 9 heads. He was shocked and confused at the same time. Because Bo Seixi couldn't figure out why the blood-red 9-headed Bat King flew out of Tang Chen's body. Boom boom boom, what? Puff. Just when the blood-red 9-headed Bat King flew out of Tang Chen's body, Bo Seixi's Sea God Light directly hit the left side of Tang Chen's body, destroying all of Tang Chen's clothes and seriously injuring him. Tang Chen's body. This directly caused Tang Chen to scream in pain and spit out a large mouthful of blood. Long Xiaoyao also noticed the blood-red 9-headed Bat King, but he was not surprised. Because when Long Xiaoyao saw Tang Chen yesterday, he used his insightful eyes to see that the blood-red 9-headed Bat King was parasitizing Tang Chen's body. However, he noticed yesterday that the blood-red 9-headed Bat King seemed to have fallen into deep sleep. He did not suppress Tang Chen's consciousness or control the body of the blood-red 9-headed Bat King, so Tang Chen was able to control his body. As far as Long Xiaoyao knew, Tang Chen's body should have been completely occupied by the blood-red 9-headed Bat King. He didn't know why Tang Chen had his own consciousness. Although Long Xiaoyao saw the blood-red nine-headed Bat King running away, he didn't care about it. Instead, he took advantage of Bo Seixi's serious injury to Tang Chen, which caused Tang Chen's defense to decrease, and directly used the god-killing blade of destruction to kill Tang Chen's hands. All the soul power layers above were destroyed. Boom. Long Xiaoyao showed no mercy, and had no intention of giving Tang Chen a chance to breathe. He took advantage of the situation and cut off Tang Chen's hands, and then struck Tang Chen's head with a knife. At this moment, Tang Chen's eyes turned black again because of the departure of the blood-red nine-headed Bat King. But when Tang Chen looked at the incoming god-killing saber of destruction, his eyes were full of fear, and even more regretful. Because he knew that he could no longer avoid Long Xiaoyao's attack, and he had no ability to resist Long Xiaoyao's attack. But there is no regret medicine in this world. Boom. Long Xiaoyao directly chopped Tang Chen's head with a knife, directly slashing and destroying Tang Chen's entire body. Tang Chen's body was completely gone, and even his soul was destroyed. He who died could no longer die. However, Long Xiaoyao's ultimate breaking force, destruction, did not use up all its power just because it destroyed Tang Chen. It directly turned into blood-red sword energy and struck rapidly towards the forest below. Stop! Long Xiaoyao looked at the blood-red nine-headed Bat King who was running away, and shouted coldly in a commanding tone. Boom! As soon as Long Xiaoyao finished speaking, Paji's destructive sword energy directly hit the forest below, causing a huge explosion that resounded through the sky. The sky and the earth immediately trembled due to this, creating a huge mushroom cloud that directly swept through the forest 6 miles in diameter. The blood-red nine-headed Bat King felt deeply in awe when it heard Long Xiaoyao's words. It did not dare to disobey Long Xiaoyao's words, so it stopped directly and slowly turned to Long Xiaoyao. "Sir, what are your orders?" the blood-red nine-headed Bat King asked Long Xiaoyao respectfully from a distance. Like Ah Yin and the others, although Long Xiaoyao did not activate the Maodu bloodline, the blood-red nine-headed Bat King also felt the Maodu bloodline in Long Xiaoyao and suppressed its bloodline, making it dare not disobey Long Xiaoyao's orders. Grown-ups, Bo Seixi was shocked when he saw the blood-red nine-headed Bat King stopped immediately after hearing Long Xiaoyao's words and showed such respect for Long Xiaoyao. However, Bo Seixi remembered that Long Xiaoyao had told her that he was both a human and a mythical beast, and she guessed that it should be the blood of Long Xiaoyao's furry calf, which had a deeply suppressing effect on the blood-red nine-headed Bat King, so that's why the blood-red nine-headed Bat King is like this. "Come here, I have a question for you," Long Xiaoyao said to the blood-red nine-headed Bat King. At the same time, he released the true form of Maodu, took back the god-killing sword of destruction and the Maodu martial spirit, and also put away all the soul bones except the Suzaku wings. The Maodu on his body, the armor slowly dissipated as a result. Seeing this, Bo Seixi also released the Poseidon's true form, took back his martial spirit, and flew towards Long Xiaoyao. The blood-red nine-headed Bat King heard Long Xiaoyao's words. Although he was a little scared, he still flapped his wings and flew towards Long Xiaoyao. Bo Seixi came to Long Xiaoyao's side first. She stopped on Long Xiaoyao's side and looked at the blood-red nine-headed Bat King curiously. At the same time, she was also wary of the blood-red nine-headed Bat King. Bo Seixi saw that the nine-headed blood-red Bat King came out of Tang Chen's body, and she was worried that the nine-headed blood-red Bat King was the soul beast from Tang Chen's side. "Sir, what do you want to ask me?" The blood-red nine-headed Bat King came to Long Xiaoyao, bowed his 9 heads towards Long Xiaoyao, and asked Long Xiaoyao respectfully. "I'll ask you this later. Now you stay with us while I heal 2 people first," Long Xiaoyao said calmly to the blood-red nine-headed Bat King, although he had many questions to ask. But he knew that Ah Yin and Xiao were seriously injured now, and he needed to help them heal first. "Yes," the blood-red nine-headed Bat King replied respectfully. "Sir, please take me to Ah Yin and the Sea Witch." Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao turned to Bo Seixi and said, "Okay, you come with me." Bo Seixi nodded, and then flew directly to the place where she placed Ah Yin and the Sea Witch. Although Bo Seixi was very curious about what kind of soul beast the blood-red nine-headed Bat King was, why it came out of Tang Chen's body, and what Long Xiaoyao wanted to ask the blood-red nine-headed Bat King. But at this time, Bo Seixi was even more worried about the safety of Ah Yin and the Sea Witch. Long Xiaoyao waved with Suzaku wings and followed closely behind Bo Seixi. The blood-red nine-headed Bat King did not dare to run away, nor did it dare to neglect. It waved its wings and followed closely behind Long Xiaoyao. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 191 Blood-Red Nine-Headed Bat King. After a while, Long Xiaoyao, Bo Saxi and the Blood-Red Nine-Headed Bat King came to the high mountain where Bo Saxi placed Xiaoyao and the Sea Witch. At this moment, Xiaoyao and Sea Witch were so seriously injured, and because Bo Saxi had just told them to reassure them, they laid down on the grass and passed out. Xiaoyao, do you still have soul power to treat Xiaoyao and Sea Witch? Bo Saxi squatted beside Xiaoyao and Sea Witch, looked at Long Xiaoyao, and asked Long Xiaoyao worriedly. She could see that Long Xiaoyao's ultimate breakthrough, destruction, caused Long Xiaoyao to basically consume all his soul power. She is now worried about whether Long Xiaoyao's soul power is sufficient, and whether Long Xiaoyao will be exhausted if she is allowed to treat Xiaoyao and Sea Witch now. She was also worried about whether Xiaoyao and the Sea Witch could receive timely treatment, so she was somewhat conflicted. Don't worry, I have left enough soul power to guarantee that I can cure Xiaoyao and the Sea Witch, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bo Saxi. Then Long Xiaoyao came directly between Xiaoyao and Sea Witch, put his hands on the abdomens of Xiaoyao and Sea Witch respectively, injected his soul power into Xiaoyao and Sea Witch's bodies, and helped Xiaoyao and Sea Witch heal their injuries. After obtaining Long Xiaoyao's soul power, the injuries on Xiaoyao and Sea Witch were rapidly recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. Great, Bo Saxi finally felt relieved when he saw that Xiaoyao and Sea Witch were recovering from their injuries. Happy, however, Bo Saxi noticed the cold sweat on Long Xiaoyao's forehead, and knew that Long Xiaoyao was trying his best to help Xiaoyao and Sea Witch heal their injuries, and felt very sorry for Long Xiaoyao. Xiaoyao, I still have a lot of soul power, can I help you? Bo Saxi asked Long Xiaoyao that she hoped to help Long Xiaoyao instead of just watching. Put your hand on mine, Long Xiaoyao nodded and said. His current soul power was indeed about to be used up, but he could see that Bo Saxi's soul power was still sufficient, and he could also see that Bo Saxi cared about him, so he did not reject Bo Saxi. West. It is good, Bo Saxi nodded. She immediately came to the opposite side of Long Xiaoyao and put her hands on Long Xiaoyao's hand. And then, Bo Saxi raised his head and asked Long Xiaoyao. That's it, Long Xiaoyao said, and then he directly used Devour All Things on Bo Saxi, and began to devour Bo Saxi's soul power, converting it into his own soul power, and then input it into the bodies of Xiaoyao and Sea Witch. Bo Saxi did not expect that Long Xiaoyao could directly swallow her soul power, and was shocked. However, she did not resist, but still put her hands on Long Xiaoyao's hand, letting Long Xiaoyao swallow her soul power. The blood-red nine-headed Bat King watched quietly from the side, neither running nor saying anything. Ding. Congratulations to the host for curing the seriously injured level 91 Sea Witch and level 51 Xiaoyao. They have gained a total of 50 million medical points. About 10 minutes passed, and just when Long Xiaoyao had just cured Xiaoyao and Sea Witch, Xiaoyao's voice rang in his mind, making him smile happily. Because including these 500 million medical god points, Long Xiaoyao only needs to earn another, million medical god points to collect 1 billion medical god points. I have already healed all the injuries on Xiaoyao and Sea Witch. All I have to do is wait for them to wake up, Long Xiaoyao said to Bo Saxi with a smile, and at the same time, he directly pulled his hand out of Bo Saxi's palm and Xiaoyao Sea Witch's abdomen. Okay, Bo Saxi nodded and looked at Xiaoyao and Sea Witch, who were still unconscious but whose injuries had completely healed and whose expressions were no longer in pain, smiled. Nine-headed Bat King, I've kept you waiting for a long time. Long Xiaoyao stood up and turned to the blood-red nine-headed Bat King. Don't dare, sir, what do you want to ask me? I must know everything and say everything, the blood-red nine-headed Bat King said immediately. Aren't you parasitic in Tang Chen's body and completely controlling Tang Chen? How come Tang Chen has his own consciousness? Long Xiaoyao curiously asked the king of the blood-red nine-headed bat. Sir, how did you know that I am parasitic in Tang Chen's body? The blood-red nine-headed Bat King asked Long Xiaoyao in shock and curiosity. It was sure that this was the first time it had seen Long Xiaoyao, and that it was parasitic in Tang Chen's body. Only it should know about it. It was very curious. How did Long Xiaoyao know this? Bo Saxi also looked at Long Xiaoyao curiously. She was also very curious about this. You don't have to worry about that. Just answer my questions, Long Xiaoyao said calmly. He didn't want to explain too much to the blood-red nine-headed Bat King. Yes, the blood-red nine-headed Bat King nodded its 9 heads respectfully, and then continued. It turned out that I was indeed parasitic in Tang Chen's body, suppressed his consciousness, controlled his body, and stayed in the city of killing as the king of killing. But 7 or 8 days ago, God Shi's divine will suddenly came to the killing city, and he saw at a glance that I was parasitic on Tang Chen's body. God Shi's divine thoughts alone could not drive me out of Tang Chen's body, so God Shi's divine thoughts directly sealed me up, allowing Tang Chen's consciousness to occupy Tang Chen's body again. As for what God Shi said to Tang Chen, and why Tang Chen is here, I have no idea. It wasn't until Tang Chen used up his soul power that the seal of God Shi was loosened. That I woke up again, as soon as I saw that Tang Chen was being surrounded by adults and madams and was about to be killed. I immediately escaped from Tang Chen's body, because I was too anxious just now. I didn't realize that Your Excellency is also a spirit beast at the first time, and that Your Excellency can even kill Tang Chen. I was afraid that Your Excellency would hunt me, so I planned to run away. The blood-red nine-headed Bat King did not dare to hide anything and told Long Xiaoyao truthfully. I see. Long Xiaoyao nodded. He guessed that God Shi needed Tang Chen to find him, so he sealed the nine-headed blood-red Bat King. I see. Bo Saixi was a little surprised when he heard the words of the blood-red nine-headed Bat King. He also guessed that the reason why Shi God sealed the blood-red nine-headed Bat King was to let Tang Chen come out to find Long Xiaoyao. But Bo Saixi was more happy. Because just now the blood-red nine-headed Bat King respectfully addressed her as his wife. Nine-headed Bat King, if you return to the killing city now, you will be killed directly by God Shi. And you don't have the talent to cultivate to the God level, so I want you to follow me to place. In the future, you will take the initiative to sacrifice and become Danger, my woman's soul ring. Danger has the qualifications to become a god. I promise that when Danger reaches the god level in the future, we will help you reshape your body, release your soul, and give you a new life. Long Xiaoyao spoke directly to the blood-red nine-headed Bat King, his words full of confidence. Long Xiaoyao found that the blood-red nine-headed Bat King was very suitable to be Bibi Dong's soul ring. He knew that if the blood-red nine-headed Bat King was willing to become Bibi Dong's soul ring, Bibi Dong's improvement would be huge. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 192 Questions about the blood-red nine-headed Bat King. The Danger Xiaoyao mentioned should refer to Bibi Dong. She actually has the qualifications to become a god. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Saixi guessed that Danger in Long Xiaoyao's mouth meant Bibi Dong. Bo Saixi knew how difficult it was to become a god. She didn't expect that Long Xiaoyao would actually say that Bibi Dong also had the qualifications to become a god, so she was a little surprised. When the blood-red nine-headed Bat King heard Long Xiaoyao's words, he looked at Long Xiaoyao carefully with both heads. There were 2 other heads looking at Bo Saixi. The other 4 heads looked at Oya and Si Witch lying on the ground. Another head was lost in thought. Okay, sir, I am willing to sacrifice myself to your woman. After thinking for a while, the blood-red nine-headed Bat King nodded its 9 heads and said. The blood-red nine-headed Bat King believed that Long Xiaoyao would not lie to it. This might be a great opportunity for it to break through, and it did not want to miss it. Of course, what's more important is that the blood-red nine-headed Bat King felt suppressed by Long Xiaoyao's Maodo bloodline, which made it dare not disobey Long Xiaoyao. It is good. Hearing the answer from the blood-red nine-headed Bat King, Long Xiaoyao nodded and showed a satisfied smile. Master High Priest, Master Dragon. At this moment, Oya and the Sea Witch woke up. However, Aoya and Sea Witch were the same as Bo Saixi yesterday. At this moment, they felt weak and unable to move at all. Ah! What kind of soul beast is that? Aoya and the Sea Witch noticed the blood-red nine-headed Bat King. They felt that the bloody red nine-headed Bat King was a bit scary and were startled. Aoya was frightened and screamed. This is the blood-red nine-headed Bat King, but don't worry. It won't attack us. Bo Saixi immediately squatted down and comforted Aoya and the Sea Witch. Oh, after hearing Bo Saixi's words, Aoya and the Sea Witch felt relieved. Xiaoyao, do you still have medicine now? Can you help Aoya and Sea Witch take the medicine bath from yesterday? So that I can help them wash their bodies and recover. Then, Bo Saixi looked at Long Xiaoyao and asked. Okay, no problem. Long Xiaoyao nodded directly. Boom. Then Long Xiaoyao called the little house directly. What? Aoya, the Sea Witch and the blood-red nine-headed Bat King were shocked when they saw Long Xiaoyao raising his hand and summoning a house. Nine-headed Bat King, please wait for us here for a while. Long Xiaoyao looked at the blood-red nine-headed Bat King Dao. Yes, my lord, the blood-red nine-headed Bat King said respectfully. Grown-ups, Xiaoyao and the Sea Witch were extremely shocked when they heard the blood-red nine-headed Bat King calling Long Xiaoyao to be an adult. Because Xiaoyao and Sea Witch know that spirit beasts and humans are incompatible. Zir, let me help you carry Xiaoyao and Sea Witch in. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao came to Bo Saxi again while talking. Zir, Xiaoyao and Sea Witch were even more shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao calling Bo Saxi to be Zir. Okay, then you can carry the Sea Witch in, and I'll carry Xiaoyao, Bo Saxi said to Long Xiaoyao. It is good, Long Xiaoyao nodded. At the same time, Bo Saxi had already started to hug Xiaoyao in a princess hug. Excuse me, at the same time, Long Xiaoyao looked at the Sea Witch and said, and then started to pick up Xiaoyao without waiting for the Sea Witch to answer. When the Sea Witch saw Long Xiaoyao starting to pick her up, she felt very shy and nervous and wanted to stop Long Xiaoyao. But before the Sea Witch could speak, Long Xiaoyao started to take action directly. He first lifted up the Sea Witch's hands, crossed them and placed them on the Sea Witch's abdomen. Then Long Xiaoyao directly blocked the Sea Witch's jade arm with his right hand, hugged the Sea Witch's fish body with his left hand, and directly picked up the Sea Witch in a princess hug. As a result, Sea Witch and Xiaoyao simultaneously made clear, sweet, and exciting sounds. Because Xiaoyao and Sea Witch's current physical condition is the same as Bo Saxi's yesterday. They are not only unable to move, but also very sensitive. The moment Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saxi touched their bodies, they felt as if their bodies had been electrocuted, feeling both pain and numbness. Xiaoyao was fine, he just screamed. The Sea Witch not only screamed, but also felt extremely shy. Her delicate and pretty face immediately turned red, like a ripe little apple, making people salivate. Because the Sea Witch has never been touched by a man, let alone held by a man. At this moment, the Sea Witch was being hugged by Long Xiaoyao, feeling Long Xiaoyao's strong hands and chest. Moreover, the Sea Witch couldn't help but make such a cry. How could she not be shy? It also made her dare not look directly into Long Xiaoyao's eyes, and her body became tense and stiff. She even forgot that Long Xiaoyao called Bo Saxi Zir. He also forgot that the blood-red nine-headed Bat King called Long Xiaoyao adult. However, the Sea Witch was held in Long Xiaoyao's arms, and she felt so safe that she couldn't help but smile. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao held Sea Witch, and Bo Saxi held Xiaoyao, and walked into the small house together. Master High Priest, Mr. Long, what is your relationship now? Why did the High Priest directly call young Master Long Xiaoyao? And Mr. Long asked the High Priest to be Zir. What is the relationship between young Master Long and the blood-red nine-headed Bat King? Why does it call young Master Long on adult, being held in Bo Saxi's arms? Xiaoyao couldn't help but raise his head and asked Bo Saxi curiously. She was really curious about it. Hearing Xiaoyao's question, the Sea Witch couldn't help but secretly look up at Long Xiaoyao. She was also extremely curious about this. The reason why I call her Cecil is because Cecil is now my woman. Long Xiaoyao looked at Bo Saxi and said with a smile. What? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's answer, Xiaoyao and Sea Witch were very shocked. Although they knew that Bo Saxi liked Long Xiaoyao based on his behavior of secretly following Long Xiaoyao a few days ago and his absent-mindedness these days. But they never expected that in just one afternoon and one night, Bo Saxi would already be Long Xiaoyao's woman. Well, Xiaoyao is right. Hearing Long Xiaoyao speak so straightforwardly, Bo Saxi was a little shy and her pretty face flushed slightly, but she nodded and showed a happy smile. Xiaoyao and Sea Witch saw Bo Saxi's happy smile and confirmed that Bo Saxi was now Long Xiaoyao's woman. They were also happy for Bo Saxi. As for why the blood-red nine-headed Bat King calls me sir, I can't explain to you, because that is my secret, but if you are also willing to become my woman, I can tell you. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao looked at the Sea Witch lying in his arms and said with a smile. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, not only Xiaoyao and Sea Witch were shocked. Even Bo Saxi and the blood-red nine-headed Bat King were shocked. At this time, Long Xiaoyao was holding the Sea Witch, and Bo Saxi was holding Xiaoyao, and they had walked into the small house together. Aren't the woman named Xiaoyao and the mermaid named Sea Witch still your lord's women? The blood-red nine-headed Bat King looked at the door of the small house, confused. It always thought that Xiaoyao and Sea Witch, like Bo Saxi, were already Long Xiaoyao's women. It felt that after all, even Bo Saxi, who had level 99, was already Long Xiaoyao's woman. It is natural that Xiaoyao and see which are Long Xiaoyao's women. It looked at the door of the small house and wanted to follow up and take a look. But Long Xiaoyao just asked him to wait here. He didn't dare to go in rashly for fear of angering Long Xiaoyao. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 193. A man's mouth, a deceiving ghost. Master Long, you really know how to joke. You already have a high priest, so why would you fall in love with me and my sister? See which? Xiaoyao lay in Bo Seixi's arms and said with a smile, and did not ask why the blood-red nine-headed Bat King asked Long Xiaoyao to become an adult. Because Xiaoyao felt that she and the sea witch were far inferior to Bo Seixi in every aspect, so she thought Long Xiaoyao was joking. Xiaoyao felt that the reason why Long Xiaoyao made such a joke was because he didn't want to tell them why the blood-red nine-headed Bat King wanted Long Xiaoyao to be an adult. Okay, the sea witch nodded. Her thoughts were exactly the same as Xiaoyao's. But Bo Seixi heard what Long Xiaoyao said, and based on her understanding of Long Xiaoyao, she thought that Long Xiaoyao was not joking. You are as beautiful as Zither, so why do you think I don't like you? Long Xiaoyao asked Xiaoyao and see which with a smile. Xiaoyao has a pure and cute appearance, with a curvy figure. She is wearing the unique pink and white maid uniform of Poseidon Island. Especially the glasses on Xiaoyao's head, she looks very sexy, cute and lovable. The sea witch's appearance is exquisite and beautiful, like finely carved jade, and her upper body is very proud, even not inferior to Bo Seixi. The sea witch is wearing a sky blue dress, which fully demonstrates her proud figure and noble temperament. She looks extremely sexy and charming. Especially the fish body under the sea witch's dress is very curious. Long Xiaoyao had already decided to give them a warm home when he saw Bo Seixi, Xiaoyao and sea witch for the first time. Of course he was not kidding. When Bo Seixi, Xiaoyao and sea witch heard Long Xiaoyao praise them for being more beautiful than the gods, they felt very happy for the first time. Because no woman doesn't like to be praised for her beauty, especially by handsome men. Young Master Long, you are too generous. How can I be as beautiful as the high priest and the sea witch sister? Stop making fun of me. Although Xiaoyao was very happy inside, she immediately said with an awkward smile. Although Xiaoyao was very confident in her appearance and figure, she felt that compared with Bo Seixi and sea witches, it was much inferior. Eurasian, Bo Seixi hugged Xiaoyao and felt a little sorry for Xiaoyao after hearing Xiaoyao's words. Sister Xiaoyao, the sea witch was held in Long Xiaoyao's arms. When she heard Xiaoyao's words, she felt a little sorry for Xiaoyao in her heart. Although Bo Seixi and sea witch are very confident in their appearance and figure, they don't like to hear Xiaoyao talk like this. I'm not kidding you. I really think you are all more beautiful than the gods, and I really have a crush on you. Long Xiaoyao put away his smile, looked at Xiaoyao, and said very seriously. Bo Seixi, Xiaoyao and sea witch were all surprised when they saw Long Xiaoyao's serious look. They couldn't help but look at Long Xiaoyao, wanting to know what Long Xiaoyao would say next. If you talk about body shape and appearance, Zir is indeed first, sea witch is second, and Xiaoyao is third, but each of your beauties has its own characteristics and charm. Having said this, Long Xiaoyao looked at Bo Seixi. Zir's beauty is divine, noble, dignified and domineering, sexy, aloof and very charming. Then Long Xiaoyao looked at the sea witch again. The beauty of the sea witch is noble, glamorous, elegant and dignified, quiet, beautiful and very sexy and charming. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao looked at Xiaoyao again. The beauty of Eurasia is lively, cute and innocent, sexy and active yet very charming. These are the places where you are more beautiful than the gods, and they are also the places where you are most charming. They are also the places where you attract me, Long Xiaoyao said firmly. Bo Seixi, Xiaoyao and sea witch were all very moved and happy when they heard Long Xiaoyao exaggerate their characteristics one by one. They couldn't help but smile sweetly, and they were all grinning from ear to ear. Master Long is really good at talking. You used such sweet words to coax the high priest into becoming your woman, right? Xiaoyao showed a charming smile and asked Long Xiaoyao with a smile, as if he had seen through everything and looked a bit evil. Although Xiaoyao is very young, as Bo Seixi's maid and assistant, she has handled many things for Bo Seixi and met many people. Xiaoyao feels that men are lustful, especially strong and handsome men, who are very good at deceiving girls with sweet words, and most men will abandon the girl after they have deceived her. Regardless, what Xiaoyao hates the most is this kind of man. Xiaoyao saw that Long Xiaoyao was so handsome, very strong, and so good at talking. Moreover, she knew that Long Xiaoyao already had BG, ZG in a row, and she felt that Long Xiaoyao was very likely to have a yin and Bibi Dongs. So she thought that Long Xiaoyao was probably such a man. If Ah hadn't saved them because of Long Xiaoyao, and saved them twice, she wouldn't even bother to talk to Long Xiaoyao. As a princess of the mermaid tribe, the sea witch will have few suitors. However, most of the suitors that the sea witch encounters are men who are attracted by sex and will abandon them once they get it. So although the sea witch didn't speak, her thoughts were the same as Aoya's. She was held by Long Xiaoyao and looked at him quietly. Yes, but not entirely. Long Xiaoyao smiled and nodded. As a psychiatrist, although he could not hear what Aoya and the sea witch were thinking, he could also guess the general thoughts of Aoya and the sea witch. Long Xiaoyao knew that he couldn't act too hastily and had to let Aoya and sea witch get to know him slowly. The reason why Zaire is willing to become my woman is more because she was captured by my charm and actions. Long Xiaoyao looked at Bo Sexy and said with a smile. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words and seeing Long Xiaoyao's smile, and in front of Aoya and the sea witch, Bo Sexy was a little shy, her pretty face turned red, and she showed a happy smile, not daring to look directly at Long Xiaoyao's eyes. And I will use my charm and practical actions to capture your hearts. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao confidently said to Aoya and sea witch, and then gently put sea witch on the sofa. When Bo Sexy heard that Long Xiaoyao wanted to capture the hearts of Aoya and sea witch, he did not object, and even agreed in his heart. Because after Bo Sexy's battle with Long Xiaoyao last night, she knew how powerful Long Xiaoyao was, and she couldn't handle it alone. She felt that if Aoya and sea witch were added to the mix, she might be able to handle it. Moreover, Bo Sexy thought that Long Xiaoyao would take her to meet A Yin and other girls in the future, which made her feel very uneasy. Bo Sexy thought that if Aoya and sea witch also became Long Xiaoyao's women and followed her to meet A Yin and other women, she would not be so embarrassed. Aoya and sea witch heard Long Xiaoyao's words and saw Long Xiaoyao's confident look. They just smiled politely and didn't say anything. You guys wait for me here for a while, I'm going to the bathroom to help Aoya and sea witch prepare medicinal baths. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao walked directly to the bathroom. Bo Sexy looked at Long Xiaoyao's back and showed a happy smile. Master High Priest, a man's mouth is a liar. Don't be easily deceived by young Master Long. Just when Long Xiaoyao walked into the bathroom, Aoya persuaded Bo Sexy earnestly. Aoya, what do you mean? Hearing Aoya's words, Bo Sexy was a little confused, but more angry. End of this chapter. Chapter 194. The vast majority of men are lustful, especially men who are strong, handsome, and not short of money. When they are chasing us, they will say sweet words to us and give us many expensive gifts to make us happy and deceive our hearts. Then after they get our bodies, they will ignore us and throw us aside. Although Mr. Long saved us twice, it was a life-saving grace for us, but we have only met Mr. Long twice, and we don't know him well enough. But young Master Long is very handsome, very powerful, and very rich. Furthermore, Mr. Long is very good at sweet-talking, and he already has several women who are as beautiful as gods. In all likelihood, he is also the kind of lustful person who likes the new and hates the old, always giving up. So, High Priest, don't be easily deceived by young Master Long, and don't let young Master Long get your body easily. You have to first figure out whether young Master Long is a lustful person who always gives up, otherwise you will be abandoned by Xiaoyao sooner or later, Aoya said to Bo Sexy seriously. Although Aoya knew that Bo Sexy was much older than her, she also knew that Bo Sexy would not take the initiative to deal with men, and no man would dare to pursue Bo Sexy. Therefore, Aoya felt that Bo Sexy's understanding of men was definitely far inferior to hers. Aoya was worried that Bo Sexy would be deceived by Long Xiaoyao, so he did not hesitate to tell Bo Sexy so much. Okay, the sea witch nodded slightly. She very much agreed with Aoya's point of view. What Aoya and the sea witch didn't know was that Bo Sexy had given all her body and mind to Long Xiaoyao yesterday. PFFT, hearing Xiaoyao's words and seeing the sea witch nodding her head, Bo Sexy couldn't help laughing. She felt irritated, ridiculous, and a little happy. What's annoying is that Bo Sexy said bad things about Long Xiaoyao in front of Aoya, even behind Long Xiaoyao's back. Bo Sexy had had in-depth communication with Long Xiaoyao. She had lived for so many years, how could she not be able to see who Long Xiaoyao was? The funny thing is that Bo Sexy knew that Aoya was speaking ill of Long Xiaoyao, but she heard Aoya's praise of Long Xiaoyao, which made her feel embarrassed to scold Aoya. But she was happy because Bo Saxi understood that Xiao was doing it for her own good, and because she heard Xiao's praise of Long Xiao. Master High Priest, why are you laughing? Xiao saw that Bo Saxi did not become vigilant after listening to her words, but instead showed a happy smile. He felt very puzzled and asked Bo Saxi curiously. The sea witch also looked at Bo Saxi curiously, and she was also very puzzled by this. Xiaoyao is definitely not that kind of person, so you can rest assured, Bo Saxi said with an affirmative smile, and at the same time gently placed Xiao on the sofa, letting Xiao and the sea witch sit together. Xiao and the sea witch were very surprised when they heard Bo Saxi's words. However, they were not surprised that they guessed wrong, but they were surprised that Bo Saxi had been tricked into submission by Long Xiao and still spoke for Long Xiao like this. You guys wait here, I'll go in and help Xiaoyao prepare a medicinal bath for you. Immediately afterwards, Bo Saxi said again, and then walked directly to the bathroom. It seems that the high priest has been fascinated by young Master Long, after hearing Bo Saxi's words and seeing Bo Saxi walk directly into the bathroom. Xiao said in surprise. Okay, the sea witch also nodded in surprise. Sister Sea Witch, we have to let young Master Long reveal his lecherous nature, otherwise the high priest will be deceived by young Master Long sooner or later. Oya looked at the sea witch and said firmly. Okay, the sea witch also nodded firmly. Then what shall we do? Immediately afterwards, the sea witch asked Huoya Dao. She didn't know how to expose Long Xiaoyao's lustful nature. Yes, we will use the honey trap, Xiao thought for a moment, and then showed a charming smile. This is a good plan, the sea witch nodded affirmatively. But how exactly do we do that? We can. Then Xiao and the sea witch discussed how to make Long Xiaoyao show his true form. Xiaoyao, do you need my help? At the same time, Bo Saxi walked into the bathroom. She saw Long Xiaoyao taking many medicinal materials and putting them into the bathtub, so she asked Long Xiaoyao. Then help me adjust the water temperature of the water heater to 50 degrees, and then put hot water into the bathtub, Long Xiaoyao said to Bo Saxi, and then continued to select medicinal materials for Xiao and Sea Witch to prepare medicinal baths. Okay, Bo Saxi nodded, then went to turn on the water heater and adjust the temperature. Xiaoyao, just now Xiao and Sea Witch said that you might be a lustful person who always abandons you. Let me be careful not to be deceived by you, otherwise you will abandon me in the future, Bo Saxi said to Long Xiaoyao with a smile while adjusting the temperature. Oh, Long Xiaoyao was a little surprised when he heard Bo Saxi's words, but this was also within his expectation. Because he had long seen that Xiao and the Sea Witch seemed a little wary of him, and guessed what Xiao and the Sea Witch thought of him. However, Long Xiaoyao did not feel angry because of this. Instead, he became more and more interested in Xiao and the Sea Witch. Then do you believe what they say? Long Xiaoyao asked Bo Saxi with a smile while preparing medicinal materials for Xiao and Sea Witch. Then will you abandon me in the future? Bo Saxi did not answer Long Xiaoyao's question, but looked at Long Xiaoyao and asked with a smile. Bo Saxi believed that Long Xiaoyao would not abandon her, but she wanted to hear Long Xiaoyao say it himself. Absolutely not. Hearing Bo Saxi's question, Long Xiaoyao immediately put away his smile without even thinking about it. He also stopped helping Xiao and Sea Witch prepare medicinal materials and answered Bo Saxi firmly. I believe you. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's answer and seeing Long Xiaoyao's extremely determined look, Bo Saxi showed a happy smile. But even though I told Oya and Sea Witch that you are not that kind of person, they don't seem to believe you. They will most likely take some action to prove to me that you are that kind of person. Immediately afterwards, Bo Saxi reminded Long Xiaoyao that she knew Xiao and the Sea Witch, and she knew that Xiao and the Sea Witch would most likely take action. Bo Saxi can explain everything that happened yesterday to Xiao and Sea Witch to make Xiao and Sea Witch believe in Long Xiaoyao. But Bo Saxi wanted Long Xiaoyao to use actual actions to prove to Xiao and the Sea Witch, which was more powerful than her explanation. Oh, then I have to see what action they are going to take. Long Xiaoyao smiled, looking forward to it, and continued to prepare medicinal materials for Xiao and Sea Witch. After about 5 minutes, Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saxi walked back to the living room together. We have prepared the medicinal bath. Do you have a change of clothes? Long Xiaoyao came to Xiao and Sea Witch and asked with a smile. Have, Huoya nodded. She, Bo Saxi, and the Sea Witch's clothes were all in her storage soul guide. Okay, Zira and I will carry you in now, Long Xiaoyao nodded, and then he directly hugged the Sea Witch, while Bo Saxi directly hugged Aoya. End of this chapter? Period. Chapter 195. Just when Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saxi picked up Sea Witch and Aoya respectively, Aoya and Sea Witch's bodies were still very sensitive, and they couldn't help but let out sweet screams. However, the Sea Witch's cry was even more exciting than Aoya's cry. Of course, this was what Aoya and the Sea Witch had discussed in advance, in order to rouse Long Xiaoyao's lust and expose Long Xiaoyao's true colors. In order to achieve her goal, the Sea Witch even put her head directly on Long Xiaoyao's chest and pressed against it tightly. It seems that Aoya and the Sea Witch are planning to use a honey trap on me. Noticing the difference in the cries of Aoya and the Sea Witch, especially the small movements of the Sea Witch, Long Xiaoyao guessed the intentions of Aoya and the Sea Witch. I want to see what tricks you can come up with the Sea Witch in his arms. Long Xiaoyao was looking forward to how Aoya and the Sea Witch would use their beauty trap on him next. It should be Eurasia's idea. Hearing the difference in the cries of Aoya and the Sea Witch, and hearing Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, Bo Saxi guessed that this must be Aoya's idea. She hugged Aoya and showed a happy smile. Bo Saxi knew Aoya and the Sea Witch very well, and she knew that the Sea Witch would never come up with such a solution. But Bo Saxi also knew that Aoya and Sea Witch would never do this at all. She knew that the reason why they used a beauty trap to lure Long Xiaoyao was to let her see Long Xiaoyao's nature. Plop, plop. This was the first time for the Sea Witch to take the initiative to be so intimate with a man. Her heartbeat suddenly accelerated rapidly, her pretty face turned red, and she felt very shy. However, the Sea Witch did not flinch. In order to let Long Xiaoyao reveal his true nature, she suppressed her shyness and followed the plan Aoya just mentioned, still pressing her head tightly against Long Xiaoyao's chest. Come on, Sea Witch sister. Huoyu was held in Bo Saxi's arms, looking at the very shy Sea Witch, and silently cheering for the Sea Witch in her heart. Don't be afraid, I won't let you fall, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to the Sea Witch, while hugging the Sea Witch even tighter. Sure enough, it was just as Sister Aoya said, Mr. Long hugged me even tighter. When the Sea Witch heard Long Xiaoyao's words, she felt that Long Xiaoyao hugged her tighter. Although she achieved what she and Aoya wanted, she also felt more shy, her pretty face turned red, and her heart beat faster. Even faster. Okay, however, for the sake of Bo Saxi, the Sea Witch still suppressed her shyness and said softly, let's go. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao carried the Sea Witch to the bathroom. Bo Saxi hugged Aoya and followed Long Xiaoyao into the bathroom. After entering the bathroom, Long Xiaoyao carefully placed the Sea Witch on the chair prepared in advance. Bo Saxi also put Aoya on the chair. I'll leave them to you, Long Xiaoyao said to Bo Saxi, then turned around and planned to walk out of the bathroom. Master Long, please wait a moment. As soon as Long Xiaoyao turned around, Aoya stopped Long Xiaoyao. What happened? Long Xiaoyao turned to Aoya and asked curiously. Bo Saxi also looked at Aoya curiously, wanting to see what Aoya planned to say to Long Xiaoyao. Sister Sea Witch and I have a heartfelt request. We would like to ask young Master Long to bathe and change our clothes. Aoya blushed and expressed her request. The reason why Aoya asked Long Xiaoyao to bathe and change clothes for her and the Sea Witch was because she wanted to use her and the Sea Witch's bait to make Long Xiaoyao reveal his true nature, so that Long Xiaoyao could not help but rape them in the bathroom. However, they would not let Long Xiaoyao rape him obediently. They planned to call out to Bo Saxi when Long Xiaoyao took action. They believed that Bo Saxi would be able to come in and save them in time. In this way, they can let Long Xiaoyao reveal his true nature and let Bo Saxi understand who Long Xiaoyao is, and they will not have to be raped by Long Xiaoyao. When the Sea Witch heard Aoya's words, even though they had already discussed it, she still felt very shy and her pretty face turned even redder. Oh, hearing what Aoya and the Sea Witch said, Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saxi were a little surprised, and at the same time they were very moved. They didn't expect that Aoya and the Sea Witch would willingly pay so much for Bo Saxi. Why? Is here too, wouldn't it be better to let her help you? Long Xiaoyao asked Huoyao pretending not to know. Bo Saxi also pretended not to know anything and looked at Aoya curiously. Because I am just a servant of the High Priest, and Sister Sea Witch is just a subordinate of the High Priest. We don't dare to let the High Priest help us bathe and change clothes, so we can only trouble Mr. Long, Aoya said with difficulty. Okay, the Sea Witch also nodded with difficulty. Eurasia. Sea Witch. When Bo Saxi heard Aoya's words, She saw the sea witch nodding her head. Although she knew they were doing it for her own good, she felt very sad in her heart. Eurasian, sea witch, if you don't want to trouble Zir, you can let me help you bathe and change clothes, but you can't say that. Although you are indeed Zir's maids and subordinates, Zir definitely doesn't just treat you as maids and subordinates, but treats you as sisters and relatives. Otherwise Zir wouldn't have brought you out together, let alone stood up for you even though he knew he was no match for Tang Chen, Long Xiaoyao said with certainty. He was very sure that Bo Saixi regarded Ah Yin and sea witch as relatives. Okay, Xiaoyao is right. Bo Saixi nodded affirmatively, and then looked firmly at Ah Yin and the sea witch to express her feelings. When Bo Saixi first came into contact with Ah Yin and the sea witch, she really only regarded Ah Yin and the sea witch as maids and subordinates. But as she got along with Ah Yin and the sea witch, Bo Saixi already regarded Ah Yin and the sea witch as relatives. Master High Priest, of course we know that you regard us as your relatives. Ah Yin looked at Bo Saixi and said firmly immediately. Of course Ah Yin and the sea witch knew that Bo Saixi regarded them as relatives, and they also regarded Bo Saixi as relatives. Otherwise, they would not have returned to the forest for Bo Saixi, let alone Long Xiaoyao for Bo Saixi. Used a honey trap. Damn Long Xiaoyao, he actually took advantage of this to defeat me. Huoyer felt that the reason why Long Xiaoyao said this was to make Bo Saixi think that Long Xiaoyao was always thinking about Bo Saixi, so as to deceive Bo Saixi's heart. I will definitely show you your true nature. Ah Yin became more determined to use the beauty trap against Long Xiaoyao and let Long Xiaoyao reveal his true nature. We just want the high priest to have a good rest. After all, you have been fighting Tang Chen since yesterday. Immediately afterwards, Ah Yin said to Bo Saixi again. The sea witch looked at Bo Saixi and nodded affirmatively. When Bo Saixi heard Ah Yin's words and saw the sea witch nodding her head affirmatively, she understood the intentions of Ah Yin and the sea witch. She suddenly felt less sad and smiled happily. Zir, if that's the case, then you should go out and rest first, and I will help Ah Yin and sea witch bathe and change clothes. After hearing what Tuoyaru said, Long Xiaoyao said to Bo Saixi. As expected, Mr. Long still wants to bathe and change clothes for us. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Ah Yin and sea witch were more certain of their thoughts. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Saixi nodded, turned around and walked out of the bathroom. Bo Saixi believed that since Long Xiaoyao had figured out that Ah Yin and sea witch wanted to test him, Long Xiaoyao would definitely prove him. End of this chapter. Chapter 196 Shocked Eurasian and Sea Witch. I'm going to bathe and change your clothes. Don't move around. Otherwise, if I accidentally touch something I shouldn't touch, it's none of my business. Long Xiaoyao looked at Ah Yin and Sea Witch, and reminded with a smile. At the same time he came to the front of Sea Witch. Can't wait to get started. Huoyer heard Long Xiaoyao's words and saw Long Xiaoyao walking in front of the Sea Witch, showing a charming smile, and was ready to call Bo Saixi. Plop, plop, when the Sea Witch heard Long Xiaoyao's words and saw Long Xiaoyao coming in front of her, she felt very nervous and shy, and her heartbeat suddenly accelerated. However, in order to let Long Xiaoyao reveal his true nature, she did not back down. Sea Witch, let me help you first. I'm sorry, Long Xiaoyao first said to the Sea Witch, and at the same time he closed his eyes. Then, without waiting for the Sea Witch to answer, he started to help the Sea Witch take off her clothes. How is this possible? Huoya and Sea Witch closed their eyes when they saw Long Xiaoyao, and when they were taking off their clothes, Long Xiaoyao did not take the opportunity to eat the Sea Witch's tofu, which shocked them. At first Ah Yin and Sea Witch didn't believe that Long Xiaoyao would keep his eyes closed and not take the opportunity to eat the Sea Witch's tofu. But until Long Xiaoyao helped the Sea Witch take off her clothes and carried the Sea Witch into the bathtub, Ah Yin and the Sea Witch discovered that Long Xiaoyao didn't open his eyes to peek the whole time, nor did he take the opportunity to eat the Sea Witch's tofu. Moreover, when Long Xiaoyao helped Ah Yin bathe and change clothes, even if Ah Yin deliberately teased Long Xiaoyao did not take the opportunity to eat Ah Yin's tofu, nor did he take the opportunity to open his eyes and peek at Ah Yin and the Sea Witch. This shocked Ah Yin and the Sea Witch. Okay, although the bathtub is a bit small, it's enough for the two of you to soak in. I'll help Zir find some clothes. Long Xiaoyao looked at Ah Yin and Sea Witch, who only had their heads popping up, and said with a smile, and then he picked up Ah Yin's soul guide. After a while, Long Xiaoyao found a red dress and purple underwear with lace for Bo Saixi. You guys slowly absorb the power of this potion bath. I'll go out first. Long Xiaoyao took the clothes he found for Bo Sixi, smiled and said to Ah Yin and see which, then turned around and walked out of the bathroom. Master Long, are you going out like this? Ah Yin asked Long Xiaoyao in disbelief. The sea witch also looked at Long Xiaoyao in disbelief. Because all of Long Xiaoyao's actions were completely different from what they thought. If not, as long as you have absorbed all the medicinal power of this potion bath, you can act on your own. You don't need my help anymore. Long Xiaoyao turned to Ah Yin and see which again, and asked pretending to be confused. No, I mean, don't you want to do something to me and my sister Sea Witch? Sister Sea Witch and I are unable to move now, or are you saying that you think we are not as beautiful or as good as the High Priest, and you are not interested in us at all? Huo Yang asked Long Xiaoyao clearly, and then stared at Long Xiaoyao with the Sea Witch. Of course I'm interested in you, and of course I want to do something to you, but I have to get your hearts first, and only after you are willing to hand over your bodies to me will I do anything to you. Long Xiaoyao said with great certainty. Besides, if I really want to do something to you, even if you are not powerless to move, you are completely powerless to resist me. Then, Long Xiaoyao looked at Ah Yin and Sea Witch and said with a smile. Ah Yin and Sea Witch were very surprised when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words. They could tell that Long Xiaoyao was telling the truth. At the same time, Ah Yin and the Sea Witch felt a little restless in their hearts for some reason. When they looked at Long Xiaoyao, they felt even more shy than when Long Xiaoyao undressed them and carried them into the bathtub. Ah Yin and the Sea Witch couldn't help but look shy because of this, and they didn't dare to look directly into Long Xiaoyao's eyes. Hurry up and absorb the power of the medicinal bath. I'll go out and feed you some so you can recover and regain your strength, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. He could see that Ah Yin and the Sea Witch were no longer so wary of him. What he needed to do now was to strike while the iron was hot and capture the stomachs of Ah Yin and the Sea Witch. Squeak. Then Long Xiaoyao turned around, walked out of the bathroom, and closed the door for Ah Yin and Sea Witch. Sister Ah Yin, could it be that we have misunderstood Mr. Long? Looking at the bathroom door, the Sea Witch asked Ah Yin. Okay, Huo Yan nodded subconsciously. She also felt that they might have misunderstood Long Xiaoyao. Although Long Xiaoyao was a womanizer, he was not a womanizer who only wanted to get a woman's body and gave up on her. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Young Master Long has probably guessed our plan, so he did this and said this deliberately in order to deceive us and the High Priest. Then when they get our bodies in the future, they will abandon us. But Ah Yin immediately said that she felt this was very likely. At least, %. We can't be deceived by him, we must let him reveal his true nature, in the living room. Give me your clothes. Long Xiaoyao didn't know about the conversation between Ah Yin and the Sea Witch, so he directly handed Bo Sixi's clothes to Bo Sixi. Bo Sixi took the clothes directly, then stood up, planning to go into the room to change. Bo Sixi believed in Long Xiaoyao, and she didn't want to expose that she could hear Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, so she didn't ask Long Xiaoyao any more questions. Can't you change it here? It's not like I haven't seen you before, and there are no outsiders here. Long Xiaoyao grabbed Bo Sixi's jade hand and asked Bo Sixi with a smile. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words and seeing Long Xiaoyao's smile, Bo Sixi's pretty face turned red. No, Bo Sixi said firmly, then broke away from Long Xiaoyao's hand and walked directly to the room, fearing that Long Xiaoyao would force her to change clothes here. Although it was said that Bo Sixi and Long Xiaoyao were already married, that was only yesterday, and the lights were still turned off at that time. Bo Sixi was really embarrassed to change clothes in front of Long Xiaoyao. Ha. Seeing Bo Sixi's look, Long Xiaoyao laughed. He did not force Bo Sixi to change clothes in front of him. After seeing Bo Sixi walk into the room, Long Xiaoyao walked to the kitchen. After a while, Bo Sixi changed his clothes and came out to see Long Xiaoyao waiting below, so he also took the initiative to help Long Xiaoyao. Half an hour later, Ah Yin and the Sea Witch had absorbed the medicinal power in the potion bath, recovered their soul power, and recovered their bodies. They put on their clothes and walked out together. Just at this time, Long Xiaoyao and Bo Sixi had just prepared noodles for Ah Yin and Sea Witch and put them on the table. Of course they also laid their own. After all, Long Xiaoyao and Bo Sixi also consumed a lot and needed to be replenished. Smell good, grunt. As soon as Ah Yin and Sea Witch came to the living room, they smelled the fragrance. It felt very fragrant, more fragrant than any food they had smelled before, and their stomachs couldn't help but scream. End of this chapter. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 197: The Crisis of Douluo and Douguyan. Are you hungry? Come and eat noodles. Zara and I made them specially for you. Hearing the growling of Xiaoyao and Sea Witch's stomachs, Xiaoyao looked at Xiaoyao and Sea Witch and said with a smile. Basically, Xiaoyao did it. I just helped him wash the dishes, Bo Saxi said sheepishly. Mr. Long's noodles are actually so delicious. Hearing what Xiaoyao and Bo Saxi said, Xiaoyao and Sea Witch were very surprised. They didn't expect that Xiaoyao could actually make such fragrant noodles. Unable to resist the aroma of noodles, Xiaoyao and Sea Witch nodded and walked directly to the table. Gollum. When they came to the table, Xiaoyao and the Sea Witch couldn't help but swallow a big mouthful of saliva when they looked at the delicious noodles. Eat, you're welcome. Xiaoyao pushed the face belonging to Xiaoyao and Sea Witch in front of Xiaoyao and Sea Witch, and said to Xiaoyao and Sea Witch with a smile. Then I'm welcome. Xiaoyao and Sea Witch nodded. They sat down directly, picked up their chopsticks and picked up a handful of noodles. Call. Xiaoyao and Sea Witch blew gently twice and then put it in their mouths. Okay, the moment the noodles entered Xiaoyao and Sea Witch's mouths, the unique and delicious taste suddenly bloomed in their jade mouths, making their eyes light up. Whisper. Immediately afterwards, Xiaoyao and Sea Witch couldn't help but suck the handful of noodles into their mouths, chewed them excitedly, and their cheeks bulged. It looks like a little hamster with its mouth full of food and chewing constantly. Is it delicious? Seeing the appearance of Xiaoyao and Sea Witch, Xiaoyao smiled and asked Xiaoyao and Sea Witch. Xiaoyao and Sea Witch nodded continuously while chewing the noodles in their mouths. Giggle. Seeing the appearance of Xiaoyao and Sea Witch, Bo Saxi couldn't help laughing. Call. Then Bo Saxi also picked up a handful of noodles, blew gently twice, and then put it into her jade mouth. Whisper. As soon as Bo Saxi put the noodles into his mouth, he couldn't help but suck it in and chew it excitedly. Because Bo Saxi has never eaten Xiaoyao's noodles, even though she has been helping Xiaoyao's noodles, she never expected that it would be so delicious. Just like that, another little hamster was added. In a short time, Xiaoyao and the four of them had eaten up all the noodles. Bo Saxi, Xiaoyao and Sea Witch were all very unsatisfied and wanted to continue eating, but they were too embarrassed to say so for fear that Xiaoyao would think they were too delicious. Okay, let's set off now to meet Yuena and the others, and then go to Shine City to save Yaosiki. Immediately afterwards, Xiaoyao said to Bo Saxi, Xiaoyao and Sea Witch. Originally, Xiaoyao planned to go to Dishan and the others for help, but now he changed his mind. He planned to go to Yin and the others and bring them out so that they could help him. Because Jin Daoliu has been seriously injured and Tang Chen is dead, he is no longer afraid of being discovered by Wuhun Palace, so there is no need for a Yin and Bibi Dong to hide in the eyes of ice and fire. It is good, Bo Saxi nodded, feeling a little uneasy inside. Yuena and the others rescue Yaosiki, Xiaoyao and Sea Witch, who didn't know the inside story, had question marks on their faces. Time is running out now. We'll explain to you later when we get in the car. Let's go out now, Xiaoyao said. And then he took Bo Saxi, Xiaoyao and Sea Witch out of the small house. After Xiaoyao put away the small house, he called out the little hornet. After briefly explaining Little Hornet, Xiaoyao let Bo Saxi sit in the passenger seat, let Xiaoyao and Sea Witch sit in the back seat, and let the blood-red nine-headed Bat King stand behind Little Hornet. Then Xiaoyao drove the Little Hornet and flew to the Sunset Forest, while also explaining the situation to Xiaoyao and the Sea Witch. More than 3 hours later, outside the Sunset Forest, Ghost Douluo and Ju Douluo followed one after another, surrounding Dougubo, who was holding Douguyan, who was 4 or 5 years old. Dougubo, you only have 2 ways to go today. First, join our Wuhun Palace. You will be guaranteed to enjoy endless glory and wealth in the future, and your granddaughter will also have the best training resources. Second, die here with your granddaughter. Yu Guan raised her orchid finger, showed a fierce look, and asked Dougubo with a smile. Wuhun Palace has been inviting Dougubo to join Wuhun Palace, but Dougubo likes freedom and does not like to be restrained, so he has never joined Wuhun Palace. Wuhun knows that Douluo's special ability is difficult to deal with, and is afraid that Douluo will target Wuhun. However, they also knew that Douluo would not join any force, so they never took a tough attitude towards Douluo. But ever since Xiaoyao seriously injured Jin Zunji, rescued Bibi Dong, and killed Qianjin Douluo and demon-conquering Douluo at the headquarters of Wuhun Palace, he disappeared. Wuhun felt that there must be a very powerful force behind Xiaoyao. Therefore, in order to expand its power and prevent Douluo from joining Xiaoyao's faction, Wuhun Palace adopted a very tough attitude towards Douluo. Not only against Douluo, Wuhun Palace has adopted very tough attitudes and measures against many forces. It's impossible for me to join the Spirit Hall, Douluo answered directly without even thinking about it. Douluo likes freedom, and what he hates most is being restrained. With Wuhun Palace's current tough attitude, it is definitely impossible for him to agree to join Wuhun Palace. Old Poison, our Spirit Hall invites you because we think highly of you, so we don't know what is good or bad. Yu Guan looked at Orchid Finger and said angrily, while also bursting out with powerful momentum. Although the ghost did not speak, he also burst out with powerful momentum. Grandfather, looking at the menacing ghosts in Yu Guan, Douluo was a little scared. Douluo was afraid of death, and even more afraid of seeing Douluo die in front of her, because she only had Douluo as a relative now. Yan, don't be afraid. Grandpa will not let them hurt you, and Grandpa will not be killed by them, Douluo hugged Douluo and said confidently. However, Douluo knew that he had no chance of winning whether he was facing the ghost or the moon, let alone facing the ghost and the moon at the same time. Douluo knew that his only way out now was to find a chance to escape, otherwise both his grandfather and grandson would die here. Old Poison, you are already old, you don't have to care about life or death, but your granddaughter is still very young, and there are still a lot of good times waiting for her in the future. Do you want her to die with you? Yu Guan took advantage of the situation and raised her orchid finger to question Douluo. I will not let Yan die, and I will not join your Spirit Hall, Douluo said firmly, and at the same time he asked Douluo to lie behind him, took out a belt, and tied Douluo and him tightly together. Stubborn, then you all go to die? After Yu Guan understood Douluo's attitude, he was too lazy to talk nonsense to Douluo. End of this chapter. Chapter 198 Poison Douluo fights Ghost Ju Douluo alone. Buzz. As soon as he finished speaking, Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei activated their soul rings and martial spirits. Buzz. Douluo did not lag behind. After tying Douluo tightly to his back, he also activated his soul ring and martial soul. In a short time, the three titled Douluo had completed activating their martial spirits. The phantoms of the strange velvet toothing chrysanthemum, the ghost, and the jade phosphorus snake emperor appeared on Yu Guan, the ghost, and Douluo one after another. Powerful aura suddenly spread from the bodies of the three titled Douluo, causing the surrounding flowers, plants and trees to dance. The fourth soul skill, Strange Flower, Yu Guan directly used his fourth soul skill. He raised his hands and used his soul power to instantly condense a figure wearing a white lace dress, with a female body, long white hair, brown skin, and a pair of long hair. A clone with pointed ears and an appearance exactly like his. The fourth soul skill, Ghost Shadow, Ji Yuimei followed suit and directly used his fourth soul skill. He turned his palm towards Douluo and condensed a small black vortex of soul power in his palm. Immediately afterwards, a large number of black and strange ghosts emerged from the whirlpool of soul power. Whoosh! Buzz! Immediately afterwards, Yu Guan's clone and the ghostly ghost directly attacked Douluo and Du Guyan. Fifth soul skill, Snake Python Xiangang Shield. Seeing this, Douluo immediately followed up and used his fifth soul skill. He raised a hand and condensed a green snake and python Xiangang shield around him, completely covering him and Du Guyan stand up. Bang bang bang, the ghostly ghost was the first to hit Douluo's snake python Xiangang shield, causing successive explosions. Boom. Yu Guan's clone also directly hit Douluo's snake python Xiangang shield, causing a huge explosion. The combined efforts of Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei directly shattered Douluo's snake python Xiangang shield, creating bursts of smoke and dust. The seventh soul skill, Martial Soul Avatar, Jade Phosphorus Snake Emperor, Douluo directly used his seventh soul skill, condensing a huge Jade Phosphorus Snake Emperor's true form. Then Douluo directly took over the cover of smoke and dust, controlled the real body of the Jade Phosphorus Snake Emperor, and rushed towards the sunset forest on the side. Douluo knew that he would never be a match for Yuguan and Guanmei. If the fight continued, he and Duguyan would only end up being killed. So Douluo directly gave up following Yuguan and Ghost Hard Steel, and wanted to escape into the Sunset Forest and use the Sunset Forest to escape. Want to escape? You can't escape. Yuguan saw that Douluo was planning to escape. He showed a disdainful smile and jumped up. The ninth soul skill, the chrysanthemum is broken, the ground is full of injuries, and the flower is heartbroken. Yuguan raised a hand, and a strange velvet giant chrysanthemum condensed on it. Zhang. Immediately afterwards, the strange velvet Babel chrysanthemum broke into pieces and turned into golden petals all over the sky. Each petal rotates like a crescent blade, quickly forming a huge golden tornado. Sixth soul skill, demon monster. When Guanmei saw that Douluo was about to run away, he ran towards Douluo without saying much and used his sixth soul skill at the same time. Buzz buzz. A large amount of soul power burst out from Guanmei's body and quickly transformed into a dozen clones that were exactly like him. Following his body, they rushed towards Douluo and Duguyan. Go with it. Whoosh whoosh. Yuguan controlled the golden tornado, causing it to quickly attack Douluo's true form of the Jade Phosphorus Snake King. Douluo knew that he could only have a chance to escape by escaping into the Sunset Forest immediately. So even though Douluo knew that Yuguan had used the ninth soul skill on him, he neither chose to use the soul skill to resist nor avoid it. Because Douluo knew that if he was once entangled by Yuguan and ghosts, he and Duguyan would not be able to escape today. Clank. The golden tornado directly hit the snake body of the Jade Phosphorus Snake King's real body continuously, making strong collision sounds one after another, which greatly slowed down the speed of the Jade Phosphorus Snake King's real body. Douluo carried Yuguan's ninth soul skill, controlled the true form of the Jade Phosphorus Snake Emperor, and continued to escape towards the Sunset Forest. Just when Yuguan's attack ended, Guanmei and a dozen of his clones took advantage of the Jade Phosphorus Snake Emperor's real body to be slowed down and rushed behind the Jade Phosphorus Snake Emperor's real body, all attacking. It is at the head of the real body of the Jade Phosphorus Snake King. And Douluo and Duguyan are now hiding in the head of the real body of the Jade Phosphorus Snake King. Grandpa, be careful behind you. Duguyan noticed that there were more than a dozen ghosts behind him, attacking towards the head of the real body of the Jade Phosphorus Snake King. He was shocked and immediately patted Douluo on the shoulder and reminded Douluo Deo loudly. Go away. Douluo immediately controlled the tail of the Jade Phosphorus Snake King's real body and swung it with all his strength towards the incoming ghosts and their clones. The seventh soul skill, Ghost Avatar. The ghost's real body directly used his seventh soul skill. A strange black energy was seen emerging from the ghost's body, directly covering the ghost's body, causing the ghost to transform into a ghost, enter a state of nothingness, greatly increase its speed, and directly avoid the attack of the Jade Phosphorus Snake King's real body. As for the dozen or so clones of the ghost, they were directly hit by the tail of the real body of the Jade Phosphorus Snake King due to lack of speed. Burst. But at this moment, the ghost showed a weird smile and directly detonated his clones. Bang bang bang, all the ghostly clones exploded, and the violent explosion directly severely damaged the tail of the real body of the Jade Phosphorus Snake King. The eighth soul skill. At this moment, Yuguan directly began to mobilize his soul power and displayed his eighth soul skill. He saw Yuguan condensing a huge strange velvet giant chrysanthemum in front of him, and at the same time injecting a large amount of his soul power into the strange velvet giant chrysanthemum. The ghost penetrated directly into the head of the real body of the Jade Phosphorus Snake Emperor and attacked Douluo and Duguyan. Seeing this, Douluo directly carried Duguyan on his back, jumped out of the head of the Jade Phosphorus Snake King's real body, flew to the right, and avoided the ghost's attack by passing by. Suffer to death, the gate of holy light, At this moment, Yuguan directly pointed the stamens of the key velvet Babel chrysanthemum at Douluo and Duguyan. Then, a dazzling and strong golden beam of light was shot from the stamens, quickly attacking Douluo and Duguyan. Ninth soul skill, Jade Phosphor Divine Light. Douluo had no choice but to use his ninth soul skill with all his strength. Douluo's whole body became completely transparent, releasing a poisonous beam with terrifying corrosive power. Boom, Yuguan, the gate of holy light, and Douluo's phosphorus divine light directly collided together, causing a powerful explosion and a strong shock wave, causing the sky and the earth to shake. Yuguan and Douluo were both repelled by the strong shock wave. And just when Douluo was knocked back and flew backwards, The ghost attacked Douluo again. Douluo relied on his many years of combat experience to avoid a ghost's attack. What, grandfather? But the belt that tied Douluo broke, causing Douluo to fly away from Douluo's back. Douluo couldn't help screaming and instinctively called for Douluo Yan. Douluo immediately turned to Douluo and wanted to save Douluo. But the ghost attacked Douluo again and stopped him. End of this chapter. Chapter 199 shocked the three Douluo. Get out of here. Seeing Douluo falling to the ground, Douluo became excited and angry, and roared at the ghost, wanting to repel the ghost and save Douluo. What? Puff. However, the level of the ghost is higher than that of Douluo, and the ghost is still in the void state of the ghost's true body at this moment. Instead of being able to repel the ghost, Douluo was injured by the ghost. He vomited a mouthful of blood and flew backwards in the other direction. Go. Grandfather, Douluo saw that Douluo was injured by the ghost, and shouted very worriedly. Yan. When Douluo saw that Douluo was about to hit the ground, he shouted very worriedly, but was unable to save Douluo. Whoosh! However, at this moment, a stream of blood-red light shot down from the sky, flying towards Douluo quickly. That was the dragon who had just flown here in the little hornet. After hearing the explosion, he stopped to see what was going on. He found out that it was Yuguan and Yuime who were besieging Douluo and Douluo, and that Douluo's life was already hanging by a thread. Carefree. Wuhun is Long Xiaoyao's enemy. And it is obvious that Douluo and Douluo are also enemies of Wuhun Palace. The enemy of the enemy is the friend. Long Xiaoyao knew that Douluo would also be a goddess-level beauty when she grew up. Long Xiaoyao, who was determined to give all the goddesses a warm home, could not pretend not to see it, nor could he watch Yuguan and Yuime kill Douluo and Douluo. Long Xiaoyao saw Douluo flying towards the ground, and knew that if Douluo hit the ground at this speed, he would definitely die. He immediately called out his Suzuki wings, flew out the little hornet, and flew towards Douluo. Boom! Just when Douluo was about to hit the ground, Long Xiaoyao flew to Douluo's side, hugged Douluo, and landed heavily on the ground. Yuguan and Yuime saw a blood-red stream of light saving Douluo. They looked at Long Xiaoyao and Douluo curiously, wanting to see who saved Douluo. Douluo noticed a blood-red stream of light that saved Douluo. He tried his best to stabilize his body and looked at Long Xiaoyao and Douluo curiously, wanting to see who saved him. Douluo. Little sister, are you alright? Long Xiaoyao hugged Douluo with a princess hug and asked Douluo with a smile. What? Douluo thought that there was no way she could be saved and that she was certain to die. When she heard Long Xiaoyao's words, she realized that she had been saved by Long Xiaoyao, and then she realized and looked up at Long Xiaoyao. Wow, very handsome. When Douluo saw Long Xiaoyao's handsome face, she couldn't help but exclaimed. She looked at Long Xiaoyao infatuatedly and was completely fascinated. She even forgot to answer Long Xiaoyao's question. It looks like it should be fine. Hearing Douluo's exclamation, seeing Douluo's nymphomaniac look, and using his insightful eyes to discover that there was nothing else wrong with Douluo except the deep-rooted poison, Long Xiaoyao smiled at Douluo and said. Then Long Xiaoyao gently put Douluo on the ground. Long Xiaoyao, at this time, Yuguan, Yuime and Douluo all recognized Long Xiaoyao and were all shocked. How will you be here? Douluo asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. Old ghost, let's run away, call out. However, Yuguan immediately shouted to the ghost, then turned around and ran away quickly without looking back. Call out. The ghost didn't hesitate at all, turned around and ran away without looking back. Yuguan and Yuime had seen with their own eyes how Long Xiaoyao defeated Jin's Unji in an instant, and how he could fight 1 against 100, and they also heard that even Qianjin Douluo and Demon Conquering Douluo were killed by Long Xiaoyao. Yuguan and Yuime knew that they could not be Long Xiaoyao's opponents, and they had no other way to survive except running away. So they just ran away without looking back. Ran away? Douluo was shocked when he saw Yuguan and Yuime who were so scared that they ran away without looking back. It was really difficult for him to associate the current Yuguan and Yuime with the Yuguan and Yuime just now. However, he could also understand why Yuguan and Yuime ran away. After all, he also knew that Long Xiaoyao was a man who could defeat Jin's Unji in one move. Want to run? Seeing Yuguan and Yuime running away without looking back, Long Xiaoyao showed a disdainful smile. He just wanted to catch up, But he immediately gave up the idea because he saw that Bo Sexy had blocked Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei's retreat. Stop! Bo Sexy fell in front of Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei, directly released the power of her level 99 Peerless Douluo, pressed on Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei, and said to Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei calmly. Although Bo Sexy didn't know what happened, he didn't know Yu Guan, Ji Yuimei, Douluo and Du Guyan. But she could tell that Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei were besieging Douluo and Du Guyan. And she also saw that Long Xiaoyao was on the side of Douluo and Du Guyan. Bo Sexy is now Long Xiaoyao's woman, so of course she will stand by Long Xiaoyao's side. So when she saw Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei planning to escape, she flew down from the little hornet and blocked Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei's way. Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei were directly suppressed by Bo Sexy's power and stopped. They felt as if they were carrying a mountain of several hundred feet on their backs. Moreover, they felt Bo Sexy's momentum, which made them dare not at all. It became laborious to move, even to breathe. Peerless Douluo level powerhouse, are you the high priest of Poseidon Island? Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei asked Bo Sexy in shock. They had only experienced power as powerful as Bo Sexy from Douluo. They could see that Bo Sexy was also a Peerless Douluo level expert. They knew that the only known Peerless Douluo level experts in the entire Douluo continent were Douluo, Tang and Bo Sexy. And among these three Peerless Douluo, only Bo Sexy is a woman. So they guessed Bo Sexy's identity. Peerless Douluo, the high priest of Poseidon Island. When Douluo heard what Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei said, he was also shocked when he looked at the sacred Bo Sexy. As a titled Douluo, Douluo had of course heard of Bo Sexy. But he didn't expect to meet Bo Sexy here. Douluo didn't notice Bo Sexy at all, nor did she hear Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei's words. She was still looking at Long Xiaoyao blankly at this moment. I wonder why Senior stopped us, Yu Guan asked Bo Sexy respectfully. Yu Guan didn't know Bo Sexy's current relationship with Long Xiaoyao. But he knew that Wuhun Hall had just invaded Poseidon Island a few years ago. Although they did not go with him at the time, they felt that Bo Sexy might have a grudge against Wuhun Palace, so they did not dare to be rude to Bo Sexy. Otherwise, even if Long Xiaoyao didn't kill him and Ji Yuimei, Bo Sexy would probably kill them. Xiaoyao, what should we do with him? Bo Sexy did not answer Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei's questions, but looked at Long Xiaoyao and asked, with a very friendly tone, which formed an extremely sharp contrast with Yu Guan and Ji Yuimei's words. What, at the end of the month? Ji Yuimei and Douluo were extremely shocked when they heard Bo Sexy's words, especially Bo Sexy's tone when he spoke to Long Xiaoyao. End of this chapter. Chapter 200 Endless Xiaoyan. Long Xiaoyao, are you the descendant of Poseidon? Yu Guan looked at Long Xiaoyao and asked in surprise and curiosity. Ji Yuimei also looked at Long Xiaoyao curiously and shocked. They knew that Poseidon Island was the place where Poseidon left his legacy, and they felt that Long Xiaoyao was probably the descendant of Poseidon. Otherwise, they would not understand how Long Xiaoyao could defeat Jin's Unji with one blow even though he was only at the control level. He even killed Qianjin Douluo and demon-conquering Douluo. Even Bo Sexy respects Long Xiaoyao so much? The descendant of Poseidon, Douluo also looked at Long Xiaoyao in shock and curiosity. He had also heard about Poseidon Island and was extremely surprised and curious. The descendant of Poseidon, Douluo had already calmed down at this time. When she heard Yu Guan's words, she looked at Long Xiaoyao with question marks on her face, but there was still admiration and joy in her eyes. Douluo was still young and didn't know anything about Poseidon Island, so she was confused. However, when Douluo heard Yu Guan ask Long Xiaoyao if he was the descendant of Poseidon, he felt that Long Xiaoyao must be very powerful. Moreover, Long Xiaoyao had just saved Douluo. Douluo saw that Long Xiaoyao was so handsome, so of course he admired and liked Long Xiaoyao. Of course, Douluo's love is not the kind of love between men and women. After all, Douluo is still just a little girl of 4 or 5 years old. She simply thought Long Xiaoyao was awesome, thought Long Xiaoyao was handsome, and was very grateful to Long Xiaoyao. Is young Master Long the descendant of Poseidon? Probably not. We have never seen Mr. Long on Poseidon Island, then how can he be so powerful? At this time, under the automatic driving of Little Hornet, Ah Yin and Sea Witch came to the nearby air. They heard Yu Guan's question and looked at Long Xiaoyao curiously. But at this moment, everyone's attention was focused on Long Xiaoyao, and they did not notice the arrival of Little Hornet, Ah Yin and Sea Witch. Zir, you suppress them and let me kill them all. Long Xiaoyao did not answer Yu Guan's question, but said to Bo Saxi with a smile. Yu Guan and Gimri are people from Wuhun Hall and Long Xiaoyao's enemies. How could he let the tiger go back to the mountain? Moreover, Long Xiaoyao knew that Yu Guan and Gui Mei were elders of Wuhun Hall, and they were executive elders. They must have done many shameful things for Wuhun Hall. Just like the hunting of Douluo and Douyan just now. Long Xiaoyao felt that Yu Guan and Gui Mei had probably participated in the hunt for Bibi Dong's parents, so it was impossible for him to let Yu Guan and Gui Mei go. Plop. As soon as he finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao waved with Suzuka wings and flew towards Yu Guan and Gui Mei. It is good, boom. When Bo Saxi heard Long Xiaoyao's decision, he nodded gently, and then strengthened the power on Yu Guan and Gui Mei to prevent Yu Guan and Gui Mei from escaping. Yu Guan and Gui Mei suddenly felt that the pressure on them became even greater, making them breathless. He wants to kill Douluo and Ghost Douluo. Is it because of me? Douyan heard Long Xiaoyao's words and saw Long Xiaoyao flying directly towards Yu Guan and Gui Mei. She was very moved and showed a bright smile. She felt that Long Xiaoyao wanted to kill Yu Guan because of her and Spooky. Little girls are like this. They feel that the boy they like is doing everything for them. Old Ghost. Yu Guan looked at the ghost, shouted loudly, and at the same time began to mobilize almost all his soul power, preparing to fight to the death. Okay, Gui Mei nodded. As Yu Guan's old partner for more than, years, he immediately understood what Yu Guan meant. The ghost immediately released the ghost's true form and mobilized almost all of his soul power. At this moment, Long Xiaoyao waved with Suzuka wings and arrived in front of Yu Guan and Gui Mei. He and Bo Saxi formed a flanking attack, wrapping up Yu Guan and Gui Mei. The field of bipolar stillness. At this moment, Yu Guan and Gui Mei desperately raised their right hands at the same time, and used their martial soul fusion skills with all their strength, the two-pole still field. Buzz! Immediately, majestic and vast soul power burst out from Yu Guan and Gui Mei's bodies, quickly forming a bipolar static field, and rapidly expanding, directly killing Long Xiaoyao, Bo Saxi, Douluo, Douyan, Xiao Wang, Oya and Sea Witch were both wrapped up. Suddenly, everyone and everything in the two-pole static realm were stopped for a moment, including Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saxi. Because Yu Guan and Gui Mei mainly wanted to seal Bo Saxi and Long Xiaoyao. They knew that Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saxi were very powerful, especially Bo Saxi. So they basically used all their soul power to seal Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saxi for a while and buy themselves time to escape. Is this the two-pole static realm of Yusuguan and Ghost? I didn't expect it to be quite powerful. Long Xiaoyao, whose movements were blocked, was also a little surprised. He knew that Yu Guan and Gui Mei would have two static realms, but he did not expect that these two static realms could temporarily trap Bo Saxi. Long Xiaoyao immediately mobilized his soul power to attack the two-pole static realm. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao also injected a large amount of soul power into the Eye of Insight, and his Eye of Insight suddenly lit up, like endless stars, which was dawning. A control-type soul fusion skill. Bo Saxi, who was blocked from moving, was a little surprised to hear Long Xiaoyao's voice, but she reacted quickly and immediately mobilized her huge soul power and mental power to attack the two-pole static realm. It's actually a martial soul fusion skill. Huoyang, Sea Witch and Douluo were all shocked. They could not use their soul power to break through the two static realms of Yu Guan and Ghost. I can't move. Douyan was shocked to find that he suddenly couldn't move. Come on, whoosh, whoosh. Immediately afterwards, Yu Guan and Gui Mei flew towards the sunset forest on one side without looking back, hoping to use the sunset forest as a cover to escape from Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saxi. Want to escape? Seeing Yu Guan and Gui Mei running away towards the sunset forest without looking back, Long Xiaoyao and Bo Saxi showed disdainful smiles. At this moment, they had successfully broken away from the shackles of the two static realms and could move freely. Bo Saxi wanted to chase Yu Guan and Gui Mei immediately, but at this moment, Long Xiaoyao raised his hands towards Yu Guan and Gui Mei. Endless Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao directly used one of the innate magical powers of his insightful eye, Endless Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao's insightful eyes are not only able to understand the essence of all things, but also become stronger as his level increases, and then awaken his innate magical powers. The endless Xiaoyao is one of the innate magical powers of Long Xiaoyao's insightful eye. Buzz buzz, suddenly, two invisible yet powerful suction forces were emitted by Long Xiaoyao's hands, attracting Yu Guan and Ji Yu Mei from a distance, and sucked Yu Guan and Ji Yu Mei toward Long Xiaoyao's hands. What's the situation? Before Yu Guan and Ji Yu Mei could react, they were already attracted by these two extremely powerful forces towards Long Xiaoyao's hand. No matter how hard they resisted, they could not stabilize their bodies. Even the remaining soul power cannot be mobilized. What kind of soul skill is this? Seeing this scene, Bo Sexy was shocked. She thought Long Xiaoyao had used some kind of soul skill, so she stopped chasing Yu Guan and the ghost. End of this chapter. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.